What is up, everyone from all over the world? How y'all doing? Hey, everyone. Hey, thank you so much for joining us for this free virtual masterclass with Vinh Giang. I'm not Vinh, obviously. I'm Dan. I am head of operations for the stage team here. I am repping the merch as well, inside and out. Hope you're all doing amazingly well. Loving all of the messages in chat. Everyone's introducing themselves. Everyone's letting each other know where everyone's from. Got to call these out. Angelo is apparently from Neptune, so that's great. Afak here is from Saturn as well. We've got someone from Jupiter apparently. Mars, I think we've pretty much got the solar system covered at this point. And then we've even got someone from the moon. So everybody, let us know. I know you've been putting it in chat already, but let us know whereabouts you tuning in from. Because it seems pretty global at the moment. We've got over 3,000 people in this masterclass right now already. I am seeing Europe light up like a Christmas tree. Oh my goodness. I think we've got every continent covered at this point. Probably just not Antarctica at this stage. So we've got all of Australia, we've got our neighbors, Kiwi neighbors over here in New Zealand, we've got South America, we've got all of North America. I have to call out over here, we've got friends in Hawaii, I think, or people on a cruise ship somewhere or other. And my goodness, yeah, look at this central section here. I mean, oh my goodness. And Europe is lit up. It must be everyone's looking for something to do after the Olympics. So, hey, that is awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for kicking things off. Everybody, hey, loving the great vibes that everyone's sort of sending in chat. So if you've never joined us before, there is one key rule that we've got here, and that is we want to keep things good. We want to keep things positive. We don't want any sort of hate speech or nastiness or spam. Any of those sort of things, unfortunately, will result in an immediate exit from this masterclass. We have a big team of moderators. They're checking chat all the time. So please, even if you're trying to spam really nice things like emoticons and love hearts and whatnot, just know too much of it, there won't be any warnings. You'll just be banned straight out. So please don't do it. We'd love for you to stay and learn as much as you possibly can. Now, I know some people are already saying, hey, chat's a little bit overwhelming. It's a bit crazy. So, hey, if it is getting a little bit too overwhelming, please, on the bottom of your Zoom bar, you should see a chat button like this. If you click the little arrow next to it, you'll have a show chat preview. Just unclick that and it'll remove all of the chat messages being on your screen. And that way you can focus on Vinh and you can focus on learning. All right, so make sure you click that box if you need to. All right. Also, just a bit of a warning, sometimes we do have, unfortunately, scammers come in and they will try to get your details. They'll tell you to email them because they're offering something to you. Please don't do it. Please don't. We've had students scammed before and it's never nice for anybody. So just to let you know, no one from the stage team will DM you or ask for your personal details or your email or your phone number or to reach out through WhatsApp or Weibo chat or any of those sort of things, Telegram. We're not going to do any of that. So if you see it, it's just a scammer and our moderators will kick them out in time, but just a bit of a heads up. Now, I know a lot of you have also asked, hey, is there going to be a replay available? Unfortunately not. We do record, as some of you would have noticed. We are recording, but that's only for internal use. We like to see where we can improve upon things. So there will not be any sort of public replay at this time. My apologies for that, and thanks for understanding. Now, one big thing that you need to do to make sure you get the most out of today, these thingos, well, make sure you get rid of them, like don't throw them in the bin, but just put them in a drawer somewhere, put them out of sight because, hey, we want you to lean in. We want you to get the most you possibly can out of this experience. And if you've got kids running around, maybe usher them into another room. Let someone else look after them just for the next 2 hours, okay? Alrighty. And hey, I have to call out, some people have already said in chat, oh, are you live or are you pre-recorded? We get this question way too much and we'll get it throughout. And even if we prove it to yourselves, we're always going to get that question anyways. So hey, here's what I have to say to that. Ultimately, if you are going to the trouble of showing up here live so that you can improve upon your communication skills, the very least that myself, Vinh, the rest of the stage team, the very least that we can do is show up live for yourselves. That's the very least we can do. So hey, this is not pre-recorded. We are very much live here on a Friday afternoon here in sunny South Australia. I think it's sunny, maybe. Now, with all that being said and done, I would have to say that the guy that's about to come on is probably the foremost communication coach in the world, because if he wasn't, would Microsoft, would Zoom, would other big companies bring him on board to teach their employees how to get the most out of their communication skills? Probably not. But hey everyone, hope you have fun today and hope this kickstarts your journey of unlocking your communication potential. Here's Vin. Take care.
Hi, good to see you everyone. Hello, hello. I love it. People are like, hang on, that's not Vin. Yeah, that's not Vin. This is Vin. Hey, great to see you. So beautiful. Oh, I see people in chat going, hi Vin, hi. A lot more people saying hi to me than you, Dan. Just saying. Hey, before we kick things off, I'd love you to pop a word in chat. How do you feel? How do you feel? And Dan, let's get a word cloud up and going. How are you all feeling? Thank you. Love you too. I saw a couple of people say, love you, Vin. Love you too, mate. Sharing the love with all of you. So the biggest thing that people are feeling on the call right now on this masterclass is feeling excited. Some people feeling tired, curious, excited to learn. A lot of excitement though, enthusiastic. I see a couple of tireds. Hey, I know some of you are joining me in the early hours of the morning. So hey, thank you for your commitment. And for those of you who are joining in the comfortable hours, thank you as well. I'm glad you're here. I just wanted to kick things off right away by saying, number one, if you're here because you already know your communication skills are holding you back, if you're here because you feel low levels of self-confidence and you're like, my self-esteem is a little bit low, or if you're here because you already recognize that, when I speak, I don't have this thing people call charisma and I want to develop that. If you're here because you feel invisible, if you're here for any of those reasons, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. There are many things in this life that I'm not good at. Oh, that list is big and it's long. But this thing, oh yeah, I'm good at, baby. So you're in the right place. You're in the right place. I want you to know this. And I just wanted to say that no matter where I am in the world, whether it's virtually or whether it's in person, I always begin by sharing this particular story. And you'll know why it's so important to me in just a moment. You see, you're going to have to come back with me. You're going to have to go back with me now. Oh my goodness, I've got to turn on this light, otherwise my videographers are going to kick my butt. That's how you know it's live. About over 15 years ago, I was in university and I was studying accounting, yay! Fulfilling the Asian prophecy, of course. It's accountant, lawyer, doctor, engineer, or a pharmacist. And to me, I followed down the prophecy path of becoming an accountant. And in South Australia, where I'm from, I went to Adelaide University. The degree was called Commerce and Law. Yes, it's a 5-year degree to become an accountant. And for me, I got through 4.5 years. And then with 6 months to go in the degree, I came home and I had the following conversation with my parents. So just imagine you were there, okay? 6 months to go. 6 months ago, I walk into my house in the lounge room. My parents are there and I say, Mum, Dad, I love you. It's taken me all my life to build the confidence to tell you this. I'd like to quit university with 6 months to go. My mum immediately starts crying, and it's impossible to cry that fast. But my mum knew that if she cries, my dad gets pissed off. So pretty much on cue, my dad sees my mum cry. He rolls up his sleeves. He walks up towards me. My dad does this. My dad goes, and for those of you who don't know, that's what Bruce Lee does before he kicks your ass. So I recognize the signs of danger, and I go, Dad, no, wait, just wait, don't, Dad. There's actually 2 things I have to tell you. Dad, the first thing is, I've already quit university. I thought I'd do the good old quit and ask for forgiveness later. And Dad, the second thing, much more interesting. Dad, I'd like you to give me $100,000. That's right, $100,000. So then I can build a business on the internet to teach magic tricks. Let's just make sure we're on the same page here. I've just told a 60-year-old Vietnamese man who's been through the war. He was on a boat for 2 months to get to a refugee island for 2 years to get to Australia to give this son of his an education. I've just told that man I wanted to be Harry Potter. Yes, that's what I said to him. So at this point, my dad is pissed. Okay, he doesn't even know what to do with himself. He looks to my mum now, who's crying for real. And then he kind of leaves me in the lounge room, walks over to my mum, grabs her by the arm, and then they both walk into the kitchen. And at this point, I'm thinking, why would you go to the knives are in the kitchen. So I start to panic and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, did I have an older brother? and then the worst thing happens is when Vietnamese parents start to whisper. Because the moment they start to whisper, my imagination goes wild. I'm thinking, what are they saying in there? And this is what I'm thinking my dad's saying. My dad's most likely saying something like this to my mom, something like this. My dad. Don't worry, baby, okay? Okay, baby, don't cry, okay? Don't worry. Honey, we kill this boy tonight. Okay, we kill him. Okay, honey, don't worry. Okay, baby, don't cry, man. Okay, me and you tonight. Okay, we make another one. And they did. They did make another one. They made my brother. Absolute true story. Thanks for the laughing emojis. It slightly crushes my soul a little bit, but thank you. My brother was then born as a result. Yes, yep, my brother and I are over 12 years apart. My brother does have a degree in the health space. He did fulfill the Asian prophecy. I didn't. Story of my life. Because my parents had me and they went, oh crap, we stuffed that one up. We'll just have another one just in case. And their backup plan worked. But anyway, true story. I do have a brother who's got a degree. Now, my parents gradually do come out of the kitchen and they say something I completely don't expect. Now, you've got to understand, it's very difficult to surprise someone who's part magician, mind you, but they do surprise me with what they say. And you've got to know this about my dad too. My dad is the oldest brother in the family, the oldest son in the family. He was the one that made the decision to flee Vietnam during the war, leave all our properties behind, all their assets, everything. So my dad's a pretty cool guy, you know, he was thinking about my future before I was even born. So dad's a pretty cool leader in the family. So dad and mum comes out, and dad comes out and he comes out to the lounge room and he says, he goes, boy, I didn't risk my life. I didn't risk the lives of all your uncles, all your aunties, especially your mum and your grandparents. I didn't risk everybody's life in the Giang family to try to find freedom, to then force you to do something you don't want to do. If it's magic, it's okay. You know, in the most beautiful words my dad then said to me, I'll never forget this. He goes, in this life, son, you owe me one thing. Do you get this, boy? You actually owe me one thing. You have to jump as high as you can in this life. And as long as I'm alive, I'll forever be your net. I share this story no matter where I go in the world, because I'm so fundamentally aware that I would not have become the man that I've become. I would not have achieved the things that I've achieved. I wouldn't become the person you see in front of you today if it wasn't for the sacrifices my mum and dad have made and those before them. And I believe the same to be true for you. Because here's the thing. You would not be who you are. You would not be where you are if it wasn't for the sacrifices your families have made. Whether it's the families we were born into or the families we choose. So before we formally kick off the masterclass, can we hashtag family in the chat to show love to all of those who've given us everything in life? So that's hashtag family. Oh, I love it's coming through already. And just to put a name to a face, that's my mum and my dad. Yeah, two incredibly inspiring humans there that has turned me into the man that I am today. And I love that you're all leaning in on the chat. Thank you so much for leaning in. It makes this process so much more engaging for myself and the whole stage team that's here. So thank you for leaning in. Now that you know kind of my origin story and whatnot and where I kind of come from, I want to talk to you about something really interesting. In the last 2 years alone, something crazy has happened in my life. And I'll show you this. And please, this is not gloating. I just want to prove a point, okay? So I'm going to show you something I'm really proud of. You see, just 2 years ago, I started a YouTube channel again from scratch, and we went from nothing now to 1.5 million subscribers. We're about to hit 1.6. And you see my Instagram, about 2 years ago, we were sitting at about 40,000 followers. Now we're looking at 3.8 million. We're about to tip over to 3.9 this weekend. And then TikTok, I started it from scratch. That kind of went from nothing to 1.8 million. Facebook kind of went from nothing to 1.8 million. And we've got an email database now of 1.2 million people from all over the world. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. Maybe bring me a neck brace because I've become an egotistical wanker at this point. No. I shared this with you for a reason. Forget about me and the following that I have. I'm a small fry compared to some of the amazing humans out there. Think about your favorite YouTuber. Think about your favorite Instagrammer. Think about your favorite TikToker. What keeps you coming back to their content week after week, day after day? What skill do they all have that they're using to draw you in? It's their ability to form a connection with you. Now, what skill do we use to form a connection with others? What skill is that? It's the skill of communication. Yeah, so many of you have guessed it in the chat. You've guessed it. It's the skill of communication. And I want you to know one thing right off the bat. Because when people look at me now, they look at me now and they go, oh, Vin, you've always had the gift of the gab. You've always been able to communicate masterfully. Nope, not true. Not true. You see, English is my third language. The first language I learned in my life is a Chinese dialect called Dijiu. I'll give you a bit of Dijiu. Osip Dijiu nang, gaseng ang ang. If you know, you know. Now, the second language I then learnt fluently is Vietnamese. Vinh là người Việt Nam, tôi là Vinh San ở nước Úc. And only when I was in my early teens did I start to fully grasp the English language. So when you look at me now, don't make that assumption and believe, oh, Vin, you've always been good at this. No, this was one of my biggest struggles growing up. English is my third language. And you see, I started my communication skills journey in my early 20s, late teens. I started to realize the importance of communication skills. And I want to show you a video now of me after 2 years of working on communication skills. And when you watch that video and you compare it to me now, two very different people. I'm only going to play 20 seconds of this because I can't handle any more. Listen to the ums and ahs and the flailing of the arms and the, oh, here we go. Here we go. This is Vin. Here we go.
Hey everyone, welcome to my garage office slash home where I sleep, everything. I just had to make this video. I think I said my name was Vin already, I'm not sure. But I pressed record and I just want to see what comes out. But basically after such a...
Okay, there's enough of that. Watching that gives me the heebie-jeebies. But you see, I didn't realize that a lack of communication skills was robbing me of authority. I didn't realize that not being able to communicate effectively was robbing me of career opportunities. I would go to job interviews and people would always say the classic, oh, thank you for coming along, Vin. We'll call you and let you know how things go. And I never got the call back. Sometimes I would never even get an email. And when I reach out, they go, oh, Vin, we went in a different direction. But the thing that I didn't connect was that I then thought, oh, maybe I'm not technically good enough. Maybe I should go and become technically better. But I didn't connect the dots that if I made it to the interview, that means technically on the resume, I looked good enough. But what happened was this situation where my technical skills were a 10 out of 10, but my communication skills were a 3 out of 10. So when I rocked up at the interview, do you think they perceived me as a 10 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10? You are only as good as you can communicate. So every time I rocked up to a job interview, rocked up to an opportunity, they perceived me as a 3 out of 10. And it continually let me down in my life. More than just professionally, the most frustrating part for me was trying to find love as a young man. I really valued finding a partner. I really wanted to find love. I found life rather lonely without finding a partner. And for the longest time, I didn't know how to communicate my value as a man. I just didn't know how. I had no idea how to do this. You'd go on a date, never get that second call. Go on a date, and all my friends would say, oh, Vin, but you're such a good catch, don't worry. I'm like, yeah, but you say I'm a good catch, but why is no one catching me? Why is there no one catching me, huh? Yeah. So again, I didn't realize the true cost of not being able to communicate effectively. I just didn't understand that. So here's where I want to get you to lean in just for a moment. Lean in with me. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to type your answers here, because this is my question to you. How has a lack of communication skills impacted you in your life? How has a lack of communication skills impacted you in your life? Let me know in chat. Oh, I love this. I love this. Big one is lack of confidence, low self-esteem, missed opportunities. I feel ignored. Career opportunities, miscommunication, being misunderstood, anxiety. Oh, gosh, I mean, I'm not sure if any of you are seeing this, but everything. It's costing me everything. Not being taken seriously. Are you seeing all of the things in chat right now? Can you see chat explode? There are thousands of answers here. These are all the costs associated with not communicating effectively. It's scary, right? I'm about to ask you another question, but we're going to ask it to you in poll form. So we're going to share with you a poll here. And Dan, let's bring the poll up. Now, with all these things that you've mentioned, How long have you allowed this to go on for? How long have you allowed a lack of communication skills to hold you back? How long? And we're going to collate some of the data here. Oh, this is so crazy. Do you notice how at the beginning, the poll, you see 5 years start to pop up, then you start to see some 6 to 10 years, and then you start to see some 11 to 20 years. But the scary thing is every time I do this poll, the biggest column is column D, all my life. Only when we start to have the courage to look at the truth can we truly start to create change. It's far too easy to go, oh, my communication skills, I'll work on it later. Oh, my communication skills, I'll work on it later. I'm getting by. But the idea is not to just survive in this life. The idea is how do we thrive? And that's why I'm getting you to look at this painful piece right here, to truly look at it and go, damn it, I can see what it's costing me. Stop sweeping it under the rug. It's time to face some of these truths so that we can see how much it's actually costing us. And if it's costing you this much for this period of time, it's time to create change. So as we look at the truth, we look at the past, we look at the present, now we look at the future. So I've got another question for you, and this question is really simple. I'll put it on screen. If you mastered the skill of communication, how will it change your life? What would it do for you? What would it do? And we'll bring this up on the word cloud again, Dan, if you don't mind. As we bring this up, oh, I love this. It helped me with confidence. Isn't that true? There's such a deep connection between confidence and communication that I'm going to reveal to you later during our class. It's going to help me become more confident. It's going to help me build better relationships. It's going to help me create more abundance. Thank you, Dan, as you're bringing these up here. It'll create more freedom, open more doors, career growth, job opportunities, boost my confidence, lots of things with confidence. Oh, I love this one. More friendships. More meaningful connections, deepening my connections with others. Can you see all these beautiful positives? Let's move towards that. Let's move towards that, because I want to say a quote to you that I want to repeat over and over and over again. You're never going to get it out of your head. And here's the quote. Don't be so attached to who you are in the present that you don't give the future version of you a chance. Don't be so attached to who you are in the present that you don't give the future version of you a chance. So we're about to move towards that future version of you, but just before we do, I'm going to make you 3 big promises. The first big promise I'm going to make you is for every single person here right now who stays all the way to the end, at the exact 2-hour mark, we have something very special for every single one of you. And what we have for you is, we have my workbook, which is called the Self-Awareness Assessment, that every single person is going to get a copy of. So every single person by the end of this class, at the 2-hour mark, will get a free copy of my 5-step process that teaches you how to amplify the best parts of who you are to help you develop more self-awareness. So we want it again, you show up for you, we're going to show up for you. And that's only for those of you who are still here live by the end of our time together. The second thing is, one of our biggest values here at Stage is we believe in generosity. So we're also going to pick 3 winners to win a copy of my online course, the Stage Academy, worth $1,000. So we're picking 3 people for this, and we're super excited to be able to do so. So pumped about that as well. So we'll be picking that, and you've got to be here live, otherwise we won't be able to choose your name from the random pool. And then on top of this, at the end of our time together, after I've gone through the masterclass content, we will also do some Q&A, where I'm going to answer your specific questions and give you pragmatic advice on how you can improve your communication skills. All right, are you ready to begin? If you're ready to begin, there's one last thing I'm going to share with you that is going to make you really excited about leveling up your communication skills. Did you know that I'm a professional speaker? You might not know this. I'm part keynote speaker. And the first contract that I ever got to speak, I'm going to share it with you. Have a look at this. So this is my first contract ever in South Australia. I got paid $400 to speak for an hour. So I got paid $400 to speak for an hour. And I remember thinking to myself, wait, what? You pay me $400 to speak for an hour? Up until that point in my life, I only made maximum of $25 an hour. So I was like, what? You pay me $4? Yes, I'll do it. Can I do it twice? And they kind of said, what? No, Vin, we just want you to do it once. I was like, okay, it was a joke. It's a joke. But you didn't get it, so all good. So I just did that talk once. I couldn't believe they paid me $400 for an hour. Now you fast forward this. I started my speaking career in 2014. Fast forward to more recent times. Here's one of my most recent contracts. I was paid over $100,000 USD to speak for an hour. I remember when they shared this with me, I started to feel excited, but then I got imposter syndrome. And I started to think to myself, oh my goodness, they're going to work out that I don't have a university degree. They're going to work out Dan has a university degree. They're going to work out my brother has a university degree. They're going to work out that I have no... They're going to book me for the speech, and then after that, they're going to write Google articles about me, how I'm a fraud. And I started freaking out. Imposter syndrome got the better of me. And I'm so lucky to be able to call this next lady a friend. But I spent time with Mel as I was building my speaking career, and I remember talking to Mel Robbins about this. Some of you may know Mel. And I remember saying, Mel, they're going to find out I'm a fraud. And then Mel goes, oh, shut up, Vin. Shut up. Shut up. Vin, there are so many other speakers that get paid way more than you. Okay, Vin, I get paid more than you. There are speakers that get paid $500,000, $1 million. You're not that great. And I remember going, okay, I don't know how that makes me feel better. I feel worse now. And then she said the most profound thing to me. She goes, Vin, do you know why keynote speakers get paid hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars per hour? Do you know why? It's because the ability to communicate effectively, the ability to influence, the ability to inspire, this is one of the world's most highly valued skill sets. This is one of the world's most highly paid skill sets. So imagine for a second, what would it mean to you if you took one of the world's most highly valuable skill sets and you injected it into your life personally and you infused it into your life professionally? What would that do? Let's get you to that future version of you as quickly as possible. What we're going to do now is get your fingers out, get your old school note-taking devices out, or new school note-taking devices. We're about to begin. We're about to deep dive into the masterclass now. If you're ready, take a deep breath. Let's go. You see, the first thing we're going to cover is the universal laws. Universal laws. Now, if you're ready to get started, which you all are, just drop a fire emoji. Let's build some heat here. Drop a fire emoji. You see, the first concept that I'm going to teach you, this took me over 10 years to distill and learn. And I learned this from my first vocal teacher, Miss Stanley. She's an amazing human. And loving the fire emojis, everyone. And the first one, she called it 88 keys. 88 keys. 88 keys. I will never forget this first meeting I had with Miss Stanley, my music teacher. And I got to tell you this. The first time I met her, it was one of the most awkward encounters I've ever had in my life, where she taught me the most valuable lesson. I remember walking into the music room, it was a piano room, and I didn't do vocal classes because I wanted to be a singer. I did it because I wanted to learn how to use my voice. So I walked in, she was sitting at the piano, she didn't even look at me, okay? And she just says, "Sit down, young man." I still remember thinking, wow, that's a little bit rude, but that's okay. You're older than me, respect. So then I sat down. And then she sat at the piano, and then she just kept playing one key. She just one key on the piano, non-stop one key. And she does this for 2.5 minutes as I'm sitting there awkwardly going, what the frick is going on? And then about 2.5 minutes later, she finishes playing the one key, and then she turns around and she goes, "How do you feel, young man?" And I answered truthfully. I said, I don't know, I feel confused, I feel a little bit scared, to be honest, and I'm not even sure what. And before I could even finish talking, she just goes, "Good, listen." And then now she plays this beautiful song called Dear More. And that goes for about 2.5 minutes. And as she ends that, she turns over to me and she goes, "How do you feel, young man?" And this time I said, I'm actually still a little bit scared from before, but truth be told, wow, that song made me feel sad. But it also gave me a sense of hope. There was a little bit of excitement in there somewhere, and there was a little bit of lust as well. It felt like sadness to begin with, and then exciting towards the end. And then she just goes, "Good." And then she shares the most brilliant thing I've ever heard. She goes, "Honey, most people go through their entire lives playing with their voice like this. I'm going to teach you how to play with your voice like this." And I remember thinking, this is one of the greatest sales pitches I've ever heard in my life. I don't care what you cost. I'm going to give you all of my money. It was so brilliant. She did it so brilliantly that I still vividly remember it to this day. And it's so true. Because up until that point in my life, in my early 20s, I've gone through my entire life using my voice like this. I didn't realize, and 88 keys, if you didn't quite get it, refers to the piano. There are 88 keys on the piano. And I've been going through my entire life just using my voice. And she taught me this incredibly important concept that I need you to grasp right now. And that concept is the difference between using your voice and playing with your voice. She goes, no, honey, using is for tools. What do you do with a hammer? You use a hammer. What do you do with a drill? You use the drill. What do you do with a guitar? Do you use it? What do you do with the piano? Do you use it? What's that word? I'm just going to bring the chat up here. What's that word we associate with instruments? What do you do with an instrument? Do you use it? Yes, Anna says, you play. You play with the instrument. And that's exactly what she was instilling this into my mind, letting me know that the goal in life is to play with this beautiful instrument we've been given. Right now, this entire masterclass, I'm playing with my instrument. Whereas for 25 years of my life, I was just using my instrument. And some of you might look at this now and think I'm just being overly dramatic, but I'm not. This is how I used to talk. How could I just go from that version back to this version so quickly? Well, because I practiced this version for 25 years. Right? And I just tried to talk as low and as deep as I can, and I spoke quietly because I didn't have high levels of self-esteem. Can you see the difference? One is using versus one is playing. Now here's what's really interesting as you go down the path of exploring your voice. Do you ever notice this weird thing? People change their jackets and their fashion sense. People change their watch. People change their shoes, change their belt, change their house, change their car. We change so many aspects in our lives. But how often do people change the way they sound? How often do you notice your friends and your family change the way they communicate? They don't. I'm about to share with you now the psychological blocks that keep us sounding the same. There are certain blocks that keep you sounding the same your entire life, keep you communicating the same your entire life. And this is what happens. I've been teaching communication skills now for over a decade. And I can tell you this, when I teach my students the importance of exploring their voice, do you know what happens immediately? What happens immediately is this. These are the keys they normally play with. This is how they normally use their instrument. And then I get them to play. I get them to be a little more fun. And I get them to explore how deep their voice can go, but also a little bit, have a bit of fun with it. And the moment I get my students to do this, do you know what happens? They immediately, when they try the different notes that they can play with their voice, the moment they do this, do you know what they say? They go, no, don't like it, Vin. That makes me feel inauthentic. That makes me feel fake, and it makes me feel phony. Do you know what happens if you immediately label your exploration with, oh, it's fake and it's phony? You stop exploring your voice. Yep, you stop. I'm going to get a sip of water. Getting a little bit excited. Sorry, everyone. Just ducking away to get my bowl of water. And my microphone gain is high. I'll drop it down. It's Zoom. Zoom's adjusting it automatically. Okay. So you see, the water tastes 10 out of 10. It's fantastic. Now, here's the interesting thing. Again, when I get them to explore with their voice, they immediately go fake and phony. And the moment you label that uncomfortable feeling with fake and phony, you stop exploring the entire instrument. However, in those moments, if you reframe it from being fake and phony and inauthentic, and while you're exploring your voice and you're playing with it, the moment it feels uncomfortable, relabel it. Not as fake and phony and inauthentic. Note this down, relabel it as just being unfamiliar. So when you're playing with your voice and you're going, I'm just going to have a bit of a play. When you do that and you kind of go, oh, that feels a bit strange, just immediately think to yourself, don't judge it, you're just unfamiliar with it. That's all, just unfamiliar. And do you know what that does? The moment you frame it as being unfamiliar, you continue the exploration process. And as you become more familiar with the keys that you have access to, the more of the keys you'll start to use on a daily basis. Whereas in the society we live in today, we are overly obsessed with, I want to be authentic all the way through. I want to be authentic every single day. And while I think that's important, if you're not careful with that, you will never allow yourself to go through the messy middle to become amazing with the instrument being your voice. So the next time you're exploring your voice, the next time you're exploring it, make sure when you're trying out some new things, new behaviors, you don't go, ew, fake. No, just unfamiliar. That's all. I'm going to show you a video of one of my students. This is one of my students who, when he first started with me, he used his voice in a certain way. And to him, This was just using his voice, and you'll see the difference in just a moment. This is him using his voice.
As the baseball season progressed, I was not as in tune to my grades as I should be. Anytime my friends would call and wanted to go out, regardless of what day of the week, I would go. We would have fun.
And this is him using his voice. And I used to do the same thing. I used to do the same thing because to me, if I played with my voice a little more, the past version of me would judge it and go, oh, you're being too much, you're being a try-hard, and I was so harsh. And as a result of me being so harsh on myself, I stopped myself from using my entire instrument. Now watch what happens when my students started to embrace the idea and concept of 88 keys and reframing the exploration process from fake and phony to just unfamiliar. Watch what happened.
Good morning and happy Wednesday. Instead of doing a video super late at night, I'm doing it early in the morning. Things are getting better, improving every day. It has taken me a long time to understand that, and I'm still struggling. But you got to be willing. Put yourself out there, ask for help, ask for guidance, and the next thing is apply it.
Oh, I love this example. And I still remember when he sent me this video, his name's Brad. He sent me this video and he goes, Vin, I felt like I was being over the top. I felt like I was coming across like a clown. And I said, no, you came across beautifully. You know, we worry so much and we tend to think, other people are keeping us the same. Other people are keeping us trapped. But when it comes to your communication skills, the one person that's keeping you sounding the same your entire life, it's not other people. It's actually you. You're the one that keeps yourself contained and trapped. And I'll ask you this, real simply. Think about it, that student of mine, Brad, would version 1 of him get the job at the job interview or version 2? Would version 1 of him get the promotion or version 2? Would version 1 of him have more doors of opportunity open or version 2? Would version 1 of him get the date or version 2? You can see the difference. You can see the difference. Do you know how many situations people get trapped in where technically they're the most brilliant person in the room, but when they show up, they're 2 out of 10 with their communication skills. You are only as good as you can communicate. This is why as you improve your communication skills, you start to open more doors of opportunity and you start to show the world how brilliant you are. Ready to keep going? We're going to keep going deeper. And hey, if you're getting value from this, drop another fire emoji. I love some of you were like, what, was that the same guy? Yes, it was. All right, let's get to the next one. All right, now we're going to thank you for the fire emojis. Thank you. It just lets us know that we're adding value, so thank you. In the virtual world, when you teach, sometimes it's so one way. This makes it 2-way. So thank you for people who are putting extra fire emojis. Thank you. Now, I'm going to say this to you again before we dive into number 2. Don't be so attached to who you are in the present that you don't give the future version of you a chance. I know there are many of you that are so attached to just using your voice, and the mere idea of playing with your voice the way I'm doing now gives you the heebie-jeebies. And you sit there going, I don't want to do that. That seems crazy. It'd be a shame if you went through this entire life not accessing all the wonderful keys you have access to. It'd be a shame if you get to the end of this life and you didn't play all the beautiful music you have trapped within you. Stop it with that mindset. Don't be afraid to get to that future version of you. Number 2, we're going to do another deep dive. Now, this one's a deep, deep dive. So follow me, okay? And stick with me on this because it will start really simple, but then it's going to get really complex and it's going to go real deep. So you ready? Take another deep breath. Let's go. Number 2. It starts simple, but it gets complex. Sorry. Only practice leads to improvement. Only practice leads to improvement. I know, so basic, Vin. Yawn. No, stick with me. It's a rabbit hole and it goes deep. Now, I get this question hundreds, if not thousands of times on social media daily. Not hyperbole. The question is this, Vin, is it possible for me to change the way I sound? The simple answer is, well, I'm a bit of a cheeky teacher, to be quite honest. So when I see these questions, every time I see it, I ask them another question to their question. So they're like, hey, Vin, is it possible for me to change the way I sound? And I say, hey, Dragon Slayer 1968, is it possible for you to change a behavior? And they're like, well, yes. And then I say, well, then yes, it's possible for you to change the way you sound. You see, because the way you speak, it's just a series of behaviors. It's how you control the air. It's how you control your vocal folds, your vocal cords. It's how you shape that air with your lips and your mouth and your tongue and your soft palate. Depending on how you use the apparatus that you have, it creates a different sound. I can change the way I sound like this, because people are always curious. How long does it take before you can change the way you sound? If you know how, like that. I'll demonstrate. I'll change the way I sound right now. When I told my dad I wanted to become a magician, do you know what he said? He said, what the hell? You want to be the Harry Potter? No, bad boy. I just changed the way I sound. I'll do it again. I lived in Southern California for 5 years, and my favorite state in America is Texas. Love my Texans. And worst Texan accent. I do apologize for all the Texans here present. But I'll change the way I move my mouth. I'll change the way I sound. Right now, I sound like an Australian, don't I? Let me change the quality of my voice. Let me change the sound. 3, 2. I've always wanted to be a cowboy. You see, when I was young, I thought to myself, I want to learn how to ride a horse. But I don't just want to learn how to ride a horse. I want to ranch. You know, I want a big block of land. I want to learn how to cook brisket. You know what I'm saying? I want to learn how to cook a good damn Texan brisket. I just changed the way I sounded. Oh, let's take it a little bit further, because some of you are starting to say, oh, those are just accents, Vin. Well, let's change the way I sound completely. Say Disney calls me and Disney goes, oh my goodness, Vin, the unthinkable has happened. The voice actor for Mickey Mouse is dead. I say, you called the right guy. Give me 3 seconds, I'll bring Mickey on. Hi everyone, welcome to the Mickey Mouse Show. All of a sudden I can change the quality of my voice, and all of a sudden I can be Mickey Mouse. Yes, I can. And let's take it even further. Let's not kick a dead horse, but I'm going to drive this point home even further. Guess which character I am right now from the DC world. So here we go. 1, 2. Batman, you were not born in the darkness. You were merely renting the shadows. I was molded by the darkness. You see, I could choose to sound like that for the rest of my life. My wife would divorce me. My children would never talk to me again. My 6-month-old daughter will probably cry every time I enter the room. Do you get my point? My point is that the way you sound right now is just a series of behaviors. Now, here's the part where we're starting to go even deeper than many will ever go. So you ready to go into these deep, dark depths of the rabbit hole? The way you currently sound right now, your voice right now, it's a series of behaviors that you have made at some point in the past. So at some point in the past, based on the people you were inspired by, say for example, mum and dad were the people that inspired when you were young, and all of a sudden, if mum and dad were really softly spoken, then you will adopt those speaking behaviors. And then all of a sudden, when you're starting out copying those behaviors are in your conscious mind. You're thinking, how can I talk more like mum and dad? Oh, it's like this. And then after you repeat those behaviors for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, those behaviors move from your conscious mind back into your subconscious mind. And the moment those behaviors move into your subconscious mind, you now start to fall victim to the false belief that, oh, this is my natural voice. Oh, Vin, this is my natural voice. No, that's not your natural voice. You lost access to your natural voice when you were 2 or 3. The voice you currently have is your habitual voice. That's right. It's a series of habits that you've decided upon long ago. And at one point, these behaviors were living in your conscious mind. But because you repeated those behaviors over and over and over again, the moment the brain starts to repeat something over and over again, it then starts to move it into the subconscious just to save capacity. And then all of a sudden it goes to the back, and now you are fooled. You are fooled into thinking, I am stuck with the way I sound. This is one of the biggest illusions in the world. It's one of the biggest illusions in the world that keep people sounding the same for their entire lives. You are not stuck with the way you sound. Just like how you are not stuck with your hands in your pockets. It's like people telling me, Vin, I'm doomed. No, you can't save me, mate. You can't save me. My hands are stuck in my pockets forever. Yep, just can't never take them out, mate. It's a behavior, that's me. This is me, it's who I am. Nope, you just take them out. You can just take them out, you can move them like this. Same thing you can do with your body language. Same thing you'll start to notice you can do with your voice. Now, the interesting component is, you see, there are different areas of expertise. For example, like mathematics, right? When you understand mathematics and you understand it cerebrally, that's good enough. Because if I know 2 + 2 = 4, or as some would say, a window, if you know, you know. But if I know arithmetically that 2 + 2 = 4, well, that's great. I can use that in my life now. Just a cerebral understanding of that helps me in my life. However, when it comes to swimming, though, as a contrast, what if you read 20 books on swimming and done 5 workshops on swimming, but you've never jumped in the water? Could you swim? No, you can't. The same goes with swimming, the same goes with your communication skills. You can learn all these different things about communication skills, but if you never practice them, you never try those behaviors, nothing ever changes. Nothing ever changes. I'm going to show you one of my students right now. He just changes 2 behaviors. Watch how he transforms. And he has this problem. He says to me, Vin, sometimes when I speak, I don't come across with much charisma. And then as I started to study the way he talks, he clearly learnt really soft speaking rhythms. And he's got this beautiful, calm nature about him. But that's his default. And he doesn't do anything else with his voice. And as a result, when you speak in this way, it's very difficult to show others enthusiasm and passion, right? Watch what happens when we just change 2 behaviors. Check this out. Your rate of speech, where do you think that sits default from a 0 to 10?
4. I probably got a 4.
Not bad. I would say you're closer to a 3. So the beautiful thing about your voice, Tanzia, is you seem very relaxed while you talk. And the thing is, if we stay here for extended periods of time to mirror you, what can happen is people might look at us as being lower energy, even when we're feeling higher energy. I want you to give me some faster rates of speech. When you go faster, give me a little more volume as well. Because when you combine faster rates of speech with volume, it gives off the vibe of charisma and enthusiasm. You've already mastered softness and sincerity. This is the genre of excitement and enthusiasm. Start nice and calm and then gradually move up with your volume and your rate of speech.
And so when I finished year 12, it was like, yes, I'm done. But then it was like, wait, what do I do from here? I have so many people talking to me being like, hey, you should do this.
More volume.
Hey, you should try computer science, or you should try medicine, or you should take a gap year. And I was just so confused.
Slow down, quiet.
And I was thinking, who do I listen to?
Speed up, louder.
My friends, my family,
Louder.
cousin, uncle, auntie, grandma, like neighbor, dog.
Big round of applause. Yeah, the dog. Very good improv. But do you notice that? He seems full of energy. If you truly want to influence someone, it's not just through your words, Tanzia, it's through the generosity of energy that we give people. And that's something we all can work on and improve. Oh, I love this, right? So all of a sudden, are you stuck with the way you communicate? 100% no. Are you stuck with the sound of your voice? 100% no. No, it's all changeable. It's completely possible for you to change the quality of your voice. So again, I'm going to tell you, don't be so attached to who you are in the present, you don't give the future version of yourself a chance. Don't be so attached to a series of behaviors that you've been repeating your entire life. Don't be so attached to that. If these behaviors are no longer serving you, change them. Change them. If they're not serving you anymore, it's time to change. As opposed to just repeating the same thing, expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity. All right, let's keep going. Number 3. Now, the third one, I get questions like this all the time too. So what I'm teaching is based on what I get asked the most. And I try to do this to add the most value to the most of you. This question all the time. It comes in a whole group of, and a whole cluster of questions, and they ask questions like this. Vin, when I talk, I move my hands a lot. Vin, is that a problem? Vin, when I talk, when I'm standing, I move around a lot. Vin, is that a problem, Vin? Vin, sometimes when I stand, my shoulders are slightly rounded. Vin, is that a problem? Sometimes when I talk, I actually don't look at people. Vin, is that a problem? Vin, is my accent a problem? Vin, sometimes I speak and I get nervous. I speak really quickly. Vin, is that a problem? Am I speaking too quickly? Vin, am I speaking too slowly? Vin, is that a problem? Vin, is this a problem? Is that a problem? Is this a problem? And I get so many of these questions coming my way every day, it's slightly stressful. The golden rule can answer all of those questions. The wisdom I'm about to share in this golden rule is going to change your whole communication journey. And again, this rule took so long to learn, because the moment I came across this rule, I'm like, oh my goodness, this rule answers all of those questions. And very rarely does a rule come along that's that powerful. And it's not the golden rule you hear in life where you hear people say, oh, treat others the way you want to be treated. Nope, not that golden rule. This is the golden rule in the world of communication. Write this down. The golden rule is this: if it distracts people from the message, it's a problem. Yep. If it distracts people from the message, it's a problem. So if I was talking to you virtually right now and all of a sudden my hands just kept moving and I didn't stop moving my hands as I was teaching you, would that be distracting you from the message? Yeah, it does. What does that mean? It's a problem. If I stood up here and I just was teaching you, but I just kept pacing around for no reason, and I kept doing this while I was teaching, would this distract you from the message? Yeah, it would. So it's a problem. And you see, the problem with the world we live in today is that there is so much content online, so much content being produced by thousands and millions of creators every day. So we fall into this trap of doing something. I'm going to call you out on this, okay? And I'm going to call myself out too. That we think the most valuable thing we can do is continually acquire more knowledge because we believe this statement is true. We believe, oh, knowledge is power, because we keep hearing people say this. We go, oh, knowledge is power, knowledge is power. No, knowledge is not power. If you just keep learning and you do nothing with the things you learn, do you know what you become? You become a library. Yeah, you just become a library. You see any libraries taking over the world? No, they're slowly becoming extinct. So you've got to understand that that sentence, knowledge is power, is missing one word. Applied knowledge is power. And there's a danger in the world we live in today, because when it comes to communication skills or anything else you're learning, say for example, one of the other things I'm learning is, again, learning how to build wealth and invest. How many of you have watched finance videos and went, oh, that is such a good concept, save video for later, totally going to start dollar cost averaging, next podcast. Oh, that is a wonderful concept on portfolio diversity, totally going to apply that to my portfolio, save, make sure you do it later. Oh, this is a fantastic concept in being able to invest in real estate. I love it, save it, we'll apply it later. And you never end up applying any of it. You just keep watching podcast after podcast, and you keep watching YouTube video after YouTube video, and you sit there and you kind of go, I don't know why, but I still feel as if I'm not wealthy. But I am so wealthy with knowledge. I've watched so many podcasts. If you ask me for the number of hours that I've listened to over 1,000 hours. But how much of that knowledge have you applied? That's why I'm going to take a quick twist with what our learning experience is going to be like right now. I'm going to get you to apply the golden rule. Instead of continually learning and not applying, I'm going to get you to apply the golden rule. So I want to play this clip of my student, and I want you to apply the golden rule. And the golden rule is, what's distracting you from the message? Because if it distracts people from the message, it's a problem. So as you watch this video, apply the lesson. What's distracting you from the video as you watch this? Here we go.
So, me, the youngest student in the class by about a year and a half, and he looked out at the class and said, now, why do you guys think it was important that the signers of the Declaration addressed it to the king? Reason I'm telling you all this is that it wound up being 4 years later, became jack of all trades, master of two.
Aha, yes, many of you at the start were like, oh, it's at the book, it's the fidgeting. No, it's the ums and the ahs. The all done. You see, this is knowledge application. Otherwise, you could have just bookmarked that lesson and never applied it. But the moment you start applying the things you learn, you start to sharpen your ability to notice on the things you can improve when it comes to communication skills. Because if you can start to recognize in others, you'll start to be able to recognize it in yourself. Now, here's the thing. So that student of mine, his name's Stuart. So right after that experience, I did the same thing with Stuart. I said, Stuart, you've got to apply the golden rule to yourself. So I got him to come to the back of the room, and I said, I want you to watch your video and apply this lesson to yourself. So I clicked play, and he watched the video, And I kid you not, his jaw just drops to the ground. And he goes, wait, pause it. This was after 5 seconds. He goes, pause it. That's me? What the frick, Vin? I'm saying and every single 3 seconds. What the frick? I said like 4 times in 5 seconds. And the class was bamboozled. The class went, wait, what? You didn't know you do that? How do you not know you do that? Here's why you don't know. Here's why he didn't know he does that. Here's why. Because the moment you've been repeating a behavior for 15, 20, 30 years, those behaviors move from your conscious mind now into your subconscious mind. So what does that mean, Vin? That means that those behaviors, they now become invisible to you. You no longer see them. You are no longer aware that you even do it. So this was such a frightening experience for him. He kind of went, whoa, this is freaky dicky. And I said, yeah. So if you applied the golden rule, what are you going to do? And he goes, Vin, the first thing I'm going to cut out is all the ums and the damn ahs. So I equipped him with the strategies, moved him back on stage, and watch what happened. And this happened within 5 minutes. Look at this. Okay, you got this.
Sit at the edge of the table, notes next to him. And he posed the question to the class, why was it important that the framers of the Declaration of Independence, why was it important for them to address the Declaration to the King and not to Parliament? So I looked around the class, crickets, seniors and juniors looking up to the heavens above, trying to divine what the answer might be, and timidly raised my hand and said, because it was a revocation of everything it was to be British. He paused for a moment, looked at me, and said, exactly.
Boom, big round of applause. No, did you see that? This was such an amazing moment. And for those of you thinking, how did you do it in 5 minutes? The behavior that hasn't been serving him, that's been living in his subconscious mind, was saying, every time there was a pause, every time there was a silent moment. He replaced that behavior with a pause. That was all he did. He replaced the bad behavior with the behavior he wanted. And then at the moment this happened, I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. The class was clapping. And then I was waiting for Stuart to come along to high five me, maybe give me a hug, tell me how amazing I am as a teacher. But then as he walked towards me, his face looked really pissed off. And I was like, oh no, oh dear, why is he pissed? Okay, I should move. And then I was so curious and drawn into going, what the hell's going on? You did amazing. And then as he walked over to me, he reveals why he's angry. And he goes, oh, damn it, Vin, damn it. Do you know what I just realized, Vin? My manager has held me back in my position for the last 6 years of my life because he says when I speak, I don't command any authority. When I speak, I lack clarity. When I speak, I don't have presence. Do you know what I just realized in the last 5 minutes of doing this? I've been held back for 6 years of my life because of these stupid ums and ahs. Then this is so frustrating. How can one stupid behavior like that hold me back for 6 years? And he started to fixate on that and he got really pissed off. And I kind of had to go, stop, pattern break, stop. At least it didn't rob you of 10 years. At least that stupid behavior didn't rob you of 20 years. At least it didn't rob you of an entire lifetime of opportunities. Stop. From this point on, it's no longer going to rob you of any opportunities. You know, the reality is every single one of us, including you, Stuart, and you right now sitting there are non-functional behaviors that you have that are in your subconscious mind that you're repeating every day that's holding you back. And tell me in chat, do you want to know what your non-functional behaviors are? Do you want to know what they are? And this is where I got you, because that's what my workbook is for, that I'm giving everyone a copy at. I'm giving everyone a copy of my workbook at the end of the 2-hour mark. Every single person is going to get that 5-step process to help you become more aware of your non-functional behaviors. No longer allow these non-functional behaviors to hold you back in this life. No longer allow it to hold you back with your self-confidence. No longer allow it to stop you from all these wonderful opportunities in life. Stop it and don't allow it. Do not allow it. Now, this next lesson I'm going to share with you, we've got more time. We're going to dive into it. All right, let's keep going. And the reason I'm diving into this one is because right in chat, the live part of the chat, and hey, if you're getting value from this, drop a fire emoji. Let my whole stage team know that you're enjoying this. And thank you, someone just wrote fire because they can't find the fire emoji. One of the biggest things that was mentioned when I asked you, how has a lack of communication skills impacted you in your life? And one of the biggest things that came up was confidence. So let's talk about confidence for a moment, okay? Let's talk about confidence. Oh, and to illustrate this, I'm going to have to take you back to when I was about 12. I still remember this. When I was about 12 years old and I was just about to start high school, I was a textbook loser, okay? Absolute textbook loser. Last one to be picked for sports teams. I was called the quiet one, the awkward one when they're trying to be nice to me. And I only had one friend, and my friend, his name was Kevin. And the only reason Kevin and I were friends, I think, is because we bonded over the fact that we were both losers. And I remember us shaking on it going, we're never going to have girlfriends. We'll be lonely forever. And it's just, it reduced the pain. It was sour grapes, to be honest with you. And then we went to this thing in Australia for freshman year. We call it Year 8 camp. So that was the first camp I've ever been on as a high school freshman. And I remember going to this camp. No one wanted to share the cabin with us. That's how much of losers we were. There was just one guy that was meant to share the cabin with us, and they go, no, I don't want to be with those guys. They smell. I don't know if we smelled or not. Subconscious, I don't know. And then what happened was we shared this entire cabin together. We were like, who cares? We got the whole cabin to ourselves. And I remember the first night we were there, we were setting up the cabin. I had all these Pokemon cards. I was setting them up. I was getting ready to play Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! If you know that, you know that too. And then I looked around for a second. I went, wait, where's Kevin? And I started to freak out. I was thinking, oh my goodness, my only friend. And I started to panic. So I started walking around the campgrounds looking for Kevin. And I walked all over the place trying to find him in the toilet. It was awkwardly going, Kevin, are you in there? Hello? So I walked everywhere, and then finally, I started to hear all this noise and laughter, and I walked towards it, and I got to the campfire. The moment I got to the campfire, the moment I looked up from the fire, what I saw next broke my heart. And I never felt so betrayed in my life. Because when I looked up, Kevin was sitting there, playing his ukulele, talking to girls. Yeah, plural. I did not mispronounce it. Girls. And I just saw that. I was like, we shook on it just last week that we'd never talk to girls. There you are talking to multiple girls. And I looked him dead in the eyes and he saw me and I went, damn you, Kevin. I walked off and Kevin, being the good friend that he is, he drops his ukulele, he runs after me, he goes, Vin, it's not what it looks like. I'm like, damn you, Kevin. It's exactly what it looks like. I run back to the cabin. I jump into bed dramatically, cover myself with a blanket and going, I hate you, Kevin. And I tried to pretend I was asleep, and at some point I fell asleep. And it was the worst night of my life. And the next morning I wake up, and I can't believe it, but I woke up angry. And I looked over to his bed straight away, and guess who wasn't there? Kevin wasn't there. And I just remember thinking, sure, he's probably got a wife and kids now and moved into a property down near the suburbs where it's still affordable. So I walked to the cafeteria in the morning to get breakfast, and when I go to the cafeteria and I look up, what I saw confused the hell out of me. Because when I looked up, Kevin was now sitting by himself at the table and no one was sitting with him. And I was like, wait, how did it go from that person last night to but before I could even think any further, I just thought to myself, that's it, that's my friend, that's my loser friend. We're both losers together, damn it. And we remained friends for a while. But this moment confused the hell out of me in my life. What happened that night? It wasn't until I was in my early 20s and my frontal lobe started to develop and I learnt something known as contextual confidence. Contextual confidence. This is one of the biggest pieces of insight when it comes to self-confidence. I'm about to connect it for you. Lean in, lock in. You see, contextual confidence, on the night when I saw Kevin confident talking to girls, he was playing his ukulele. Kevin was an incredible ukulele player, masterful. And when he was playing his ukulele, in that context, because he was masterful at it, he was contextually confident. But then that next morning, when he didn't have his ukulele with him, in that context, he was not confident. You see, the same thing happened to me. I'm going to show you. Let me just bring my cards. The same thing happened to me. Yes, I'm part magician. I used to be a magician and used to perform magic professionally as a career. And when I had my cards, I was one of the most confident people you could meet. I remember going to school, I could talk to the prettiest girl in school, no problems whatsoever. But then I remember one day when Mum bought me a new bag, and then I forgot to bring my cards to school because Mum switched bags on me and I didn't realize she'd switched bags. And then as a result of that, let me put the cards away. When I realized Mum switched bags already and I didn't have my cards, I then couldn't talk to anybody. I lost all of my confidence. It made me really feel sick in my stomach. I was sick to my stomach without my cards. Because only when I had my cards was I contextually confident. Without my cards, I was not confident. Here's the biggest mic drop moment, if there were one, in this masterclass. Let me ask you a series of questions. I'm going to bring the chat up so I can see the answers as well. Here's my question for you. This is a mic drop moment. I'm about to connect contextual confidence to the world of communication for you. I can leave my cards at home, yes. I can leave my ukulele at home, yes. I'm going to ask you a series of questions now. Can you leave your ability to use your voice at home? Can you leave that at home? Yes or no? Yes or no? Can you leave? No. Look at the no's in the chat. Can you leave your ability to use your body language at home? Can you do it? No. Can you leave your ability to storytell at home? Can you leave that at home? Can you leave your ability to actively listen at home? Can you do that? Can you leave your ability to use analogies, metaphors, and similes to simplify concepts? Can you leave that at home? No. So what does that mean? It means that when you invest in improving your communication skills, you become contextually confident in every single area of your life. Yet in society, we think to ourselves, oh, if I want to be more confident, damn it, Vin, I'm going to book in a skydiving trip. I'm going to go and skydive. That doesn't make you more confident. That makes you momentarily more excited. It's not long-lasting change. You go, oh, I'm going to go bungee jumping, Vin. I'm going to level up my confidence. No, that's momentary exhilaration confused for long-lasting confidence. If you want more confidence, the most sustainable path there is to work on your instrument, is to work on your ability to effectively communicate. Because once you've got that ability, you've mastered this skill, it goes with you no matter where you go in life. And here's the kicker. The sooner you learn this skill, the longer it's going to serve you in your life. Sure, you can keep pushing it under the rug. Sure, you can go, oh, I'll learn it next year. I'll learn it in 5 years. I'll learn it in 10 years. The only problem with that is then it just serves you for less time. It opens less doors. The sooner you master this skill set, the more confident you become. The more confident you become, the better of a communicator you become. Why? Confident people don't tear other people down. Confident people lift other people up. When you're more confident, you're a better son, you're a better daughter, you're a better friend, you're a better contributor to society. You are a better communicator. So many of you want confidence. The most direct path there is leveling up your communication skills. I'm going to share something with you. You know, right in the beginning, Dan, can we bring it up? Do you remember right in the beginning when I asked you all, how long has a lack of communication skills impacted you for? Do you remember this? Do you remember how many people, look at that, look at 25% of people said, oh, it's impacted, I've allowed it to impact me for 5 years. And then we had, oh my goodness. How many percent is it, Dan? 52. 52% of people saying that I've allowed it to go on for like all my life, it's costed me so much. 52% of you said this. And I know when people see this, people kind of go, wait a second, how can it, 20 years? How did you let it cost you 20 years? How did you let it cost you 30 years? Let me show you exactly why this happens to all of us. And don't sit there and feel bad about you because we all fall victim to this. I want to show you something here, okay? I want to show you in the chat. So what happens to all of us when we start to think about improving our communication skills? Maybe it's a job interview, maybe it's a presentation that we have to give, maybe a best friend asked us to go, hey, can you speak at my wedding? Or maybe you want to do that TED talk. And then the moment you have one of these things happen, you kind of go, oh my goodness, I need to go to Google, how to improve communication skills. And then you get back 4.6 million results and you kind of go, okay, that's a lot of results. I don't know what to click. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go to YouTube. Hopefully someone has gone through all 4.6 million pages and created a 4-minute video, and then it's going to teach me. Yes, I'm a genius. And then you click how to improve communication skills into YouTube, and you kind of go, Okay, so over here, there's 2.4 million results. Okay, I don't know what video to click. I'll just click a random one. You click a random one, and it talks about, oh, this is how you improve your ability to sing with your throat. And you kind of go, wait, what? There's such thing as throat singing? I clicked the wrong video. Why did I do that? And then you get overwhelmed, and then you end up not applying anything. And then you go, you know what's better use of my time? I'm actually going to go through Game of Thrones again for the 5th time. Absolutely worthwhile, because when you go through Game of Thrones 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th time, you start to notice things you've never noticed before. Like the clever lines that Tyrion always says. You go, oh, I've never noticed that. And then what happens after that is 3 months later, you don't improve your communication skills. And then all of a sudden you get a job interview and you're like, oh crap, need to improve my communication skills. Google. Oh no, wait, I've done this before. I'm not an idiot. I'm going to go to YouTube. Hopefully someone by this point, 3 months later, has got a YouTube channel that will give me everything I need. And you bring up the results and you kind of go, wait, this one looks really familiar. Did I change the thumbnail? You click it and you watch it and you're going to go, oh yeah, this looks good. And then 30 minutes in, you go, I've seen this before. Oh my goodness, I'm an idiot. I've wasted 30 minutes of my life. And then you get discouraged and then you don't end up applying anything. And then you go, this time, I'm going to watch Lord of the Rings because this is a great series. Hashtag the word relatable if you can relate to this. Hashtag relatable. I love this. Everyone's like, relatable, 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 relatable. It's crazy, right? And then month after month, nothing happens. Year after year, nothing happens. This is why it can go from being 5 years to 10 years. This is why it can go from costing you 10 years to 20 years. This is how it goes from costing you 10 years to all of your life. Do you remember that version 1.0 of Brad versus version 2.0? This is why most people stay version 1.0. This is the main reason why most people don't ever change the way they communicate, let alone change the way they sound. It just doesn't happen. It shouldn't have taken me 20 years to improve my communication skills. It shouldn't have taken me that long. But it was because all of these psychological blocks holding me back. I used to think any time that I would change my voice and I would just try something new, I used to immediately punish myself and go, stop being fake and phony, you try hard. And then I don't change. Anytime I would learn something new, I'll be like, oh, that's a really good lesson. Save, never applied anything. Never. Never learned about the golden rule, never applied the golden rule to myself, never became more self-aware. What I've done here for you in this masterclass is we're removing every single psychological obstacle to allow you to create change. Because if you don't start to remove these psychological obstacles, nothing ever changes. There's one obstacle left though, and I want you to let me know if you can relate to this. And someone just wrote self-sabotage. Absolutely. So I'm going to ask you this as we continue learning together. There's one more thing that's going to hold you back. Yep, there's one more thing that's going to hold you back. And if you can relate to this, I want you to type yes. And the question I'm going to ask you is this. How many of you allow self-doubt to hold you back? How many of you allow self-doubt to hold you back? Look how many people allow self-doubt to hold them back. Trust me, I know. I still feel self-doubt. I'm human, okay? I still feel it. Dan feels it. I feel it. You feel it. We all feel it. And we need to talk about self-doubt and how to manage self-doubt as we go on this journey. So I'm going to show you one of my students. This is one of my students. Her name is Rachel. Rachel came to one of my classes. And if you ever joined me for my in-person classes, this is the crazy thing about Rachel, okay? She had already paid to come along to one of my classes. She had already committed 3 days to be a part of one of my in-person classes, all right? So she's paid over $4,500, $5,000 to be there in my class. But even when she was in my class, she was still filled with self-doubt. She was just like, I don't even know why I'm here. Nothing's probably going to work for me. And I just found this so intriguing. And I want to play for you this video of Rachel on day 1 of our time together. So look at this video. You'll be able to hear the self-doubt and you'll be able to see the self-doubt. Have a look at this.
I have a job that I love and a fulfilling work. I really have found that I'm giving back to the world. And I'm so thankful that I took that step. And now that $75 seems pretty well spent.
Punchline. Oh, no. Yeah, good. And the punchline was the shoes, what, your life?
Oh, the shoes changed my life.
No, the shoes saved your life. Boom. Big round of applause again. That was great. I remember talking to her after she got off stage, and I said, "Hey, what's going on? What's going on? You've already invested your money, you've already invested your time to be here, and you've already invested your energy. What's going on? I can see you just doubting the whole process, doubting everything, doubting you. So what's going on?" And that's when she said to me, she goes, "Oh, Vin, I know, it's not anybody else. It's just me. I've just self-doubt. It's just like in my head, all these." And I said to her, and this is how I want you to deal with self-doubt. This is how I deal with it, okay? So I said, "Rachel, it's cool. Hear me out, okay? Hear me out. I get it. Self-doubt is, just imagine we're sitting at a dinner table. It's a big dinner table. You're sitting here. Self-doubt is got the seat right next to you. All I'm going to suggest is let's get self-doubt to sit on the other side of the table where it has turkey still. It can eat the turkey, but there's no gravy. There's also no water, and I hope self-doubt chokes and dies. So get self-doubt, you're sitting on the other side. Rachel, give me the seat right next to you. You're still going to be able to hear self-doubt, but at least my voice is going to be louder. So Rachel, just listen to me. Even with self-doubt at this table, I want you to just follow through with the process anyway. Because the reality is I've still got self-doubt in my life, but self-doubt in my life is not even at the dinner table, it's outside in the heat. It's 40 degrees outside and self-doubt is melting, and I hope he just dies. Right? Very mean thing to say, but I don't like my self-doubt, but it seems to never die. So I said, "Rachel, just hear me out. Your self-doubt is over there now. Let him talk, let her talk, focus on me. Lean in and do the work anyway." You know, it was crazy because she leaned in more, she laughed more. And watch what happened with Rachel. Have a look at this.
It was about a year and a half after I graduated from college. I was working my first job as an engineer. I was asking myself questions like, what am I giving back to the world? What is it all about? What is the meaning of life? You know, totally normal questions that one asks oneself after you buy a pair of footwear. And yes, I am still wearing that same pair of dirty, stinky Chaco sandals. Started to think that maybe that was a pretty good deal after all. Those shoes saved my life.
Big round of applause, yeah! That was amazing, and I remember just being off stage, being super proud. I was like, "Oh my goodness, you've come so far." And then she rushes off stage, and I'm like, "How do you feel?" And she goes, "Oh my goodness, Vin, I feel amazing. But I got to tell you, self-doubt's still there." But self-doubt's also outside now, and in my world, it's freezing outside. I haven't heard from self-doubt in 4 days. Hopefully it's frozen, it's dead. So we just continue this joke, but the reality is self-doubt is never going to go away. Self-doubt is forever going to be a part of your life and my life. But let's stop giving self-doubt that seat right next to us. Remember, let's put self-doubt on the other side of the table, where there's no dressing for the salad, there's no gravy for the turkey, nothing. They don't even get the corn, especially not the corn cobs. That's amazing. So again, she started to use this and embrace this, and change is possible. But again, sometimes the main person that stops you from changing, it's actually you. I saw some of you type in chat. Some of you wrote, "Self-doubt almost stopped me from coming to this class because I thought to myself, oh, what's the point? I'm never going to change." Stop it. It's just a series of behaviors. Stop being so mean to yourself. I mean, my goodness, even a permanent marker is not permanent, let alone the judgments you make about yourself. Oh, I'm not charismatic. Oh, I'm a monotone. Oh, I'm boring. Stop it. Those judgments are temporary. Everything in this life is temporary. Everything is. This clicker is going to outlast me, but it's also temporary. Everything is temporary, especially the mean judgments you make about yourself, so stop it. And then Rachel just continually put self-doubt further and further and further away. And Rachel's company saw what I did with her, and they flew me out to Washington, D.C. for me to train her entire organization. And we captured this beautiful moment between Rachel and I at the end of the class where I trained her team. It's just the perfect ending to this story.
Thank you for everything.
Oh, my pleasure.
Since the last workshop, I got a promotion.
High five! You got a promotion?
Yeah.
Oh, kick ass!
And so many people have commented on, like, you just feel so much more comfortable. And
She got a promotion! Oh, I love this story so much because she got a promotion. You see, that's the future version of Rachel. And the idea is, how do you get from the present version of you to the future version of you? That future version of you is possible. But so many of us, we sit there and we go, oh, it's not possible for me. It's never possible for me. I'm here to fight for that future version of you, and I'm here to say it is possible for you. So I'm going to ask you a couple of quick questions here. The first one is, look, if you've been enjoying our time together, please drop a fire emoji. Have you been able to get value from this? Let me know, yes or no. Type in the chat, let me know. Oh, thank you. And look, thank you for saying that you have been getting value from this. Thank you for saying yes. And could I ask you another question? If there's a way for you to continue learning with me, would you like to hear more about it? And can I just quickly say thank you too? I'm seeing a lot of people type yes. I really appreciate you. And look, my final question is it okay for me to share with you a little bit about my stage programs that I run? Is that okay? Thank you. Thank you for giving me permission, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with you what I do. This is what I do with my life. This is what I've chosen to dedicate my life to. A lot of people see me on social media, and they don't even realize I teach a comprehensive course when it comes to communication skills. So with your permission, I'd love to be able to share with you just a little bit more about what I do. Thank you for the opportunity in advance. Hey, the first part of my stage program, and I'm so excited to share this with you, this is what I'm giving 3 copies away, right? My Stage Academy. And the Stage Academy, that's my online course, okay? So that's the Stage Academy, the online course. There's over 120 videos. There's over 13 hours of content inside the Stage Academy right now. 8 modules. We updated it 4 times in 2023, and we've updated it 3 times this year in 2024 already. All the updates are free. And once you join the Stage Academy, you also get lifetime access to it. Now, what's the difference between your online course, Vin, and other people's online course? There is a big difference. I run in-person workshops every single year. And when I run these in-person workshops, let me just do this here. When I run these in-person workshops, I get videographers to film it from every single angle and capture it professionally. So you can see students struggle. You can see students succeed. You'll be able to see exactly how they improve their behaviors to transform into the future version of themselves. And I filmed this from multiple angles so you can learn precisely what happens. And I do this why? I do this because I don't want to teach you communication skills standing here in studio and just going, here's slide 1. And in slide 1, we'll learn about executive presence. Executive presence is, no, I don't want to do this. I wanted to create an online program that's engaging, right? I want you to feel like I need to binge this course because it's so fun. And I believe in a philosophy called Kaizen. And Kaizen is a Japanese philosophy, continuous improvement. So I'll show you. Just in April this year, we updated the online course with over 20 videos, talking about how to stay authentic as you're exploring your voice, how to deal with the fear of judgment, tips on improving your volume, how do I use my pitch and my melody to portray confidence, how do I pause to organize my thoughts, how do I stay on point because I'm rambling too much, how do I improve executive presence in person and virtually. So I did this, and more than this, I also just updated it literally just a few days ago. Just August 14th, this is 2 days ago, we updated it with over 10 videos. We've got videos here on how do you make your voice deeper? How do you create a deeper sound? And again, we've got advice on vocal classes and where to go. We've also here got, Vin, it feels weird when I pause. Well, let me help you become more comfortable with it. Vin, how do I avoid rambling? How do I tell a story that doesn't have a point? So we deep dive into all of the content. And I continually update the online course. Why? Because I continue to grow as a teacher. And as I continue to grow my knowledge and continue to grow my mastery, I'm going to teach all of my students. And I've got a couple of students here who have a couple of kind things to say about the Academy, and they're very kind, so I'll play the video. So thank you for letting me share this. You're all very kind. Thank you. Here we go. You've completed the Stage Academy.
Awesome! Oh my God, I can't begin to explain to you how important this course could be for you.
He just shows everything in a very fun and engaging way.
This has changed my life.
I kind of binged it because Vin was amazing.
My career is going to absolutely take off because of this.
Easily understandable.
It was amazing, an amazing experience.
And I'm already feeling more confident.
My mind has been blown.
Do it. You'll thank me later.
Fucking do it. Nothing else to it.
Oh, I love it. That's my student, Alexander, at the end. I said, thank you for saying that, but you can't swear. So I had to beep it out. But it was so good I had to include it. Now, you see, I'm doing something very special for all of you here right now if you choose to join me. We're putting many of my stage programs together. So that's just the first one. You see, the first one is the Stage Academy, and we're giving 3 copies away in approximately 35 minutes. And that's worth $1,000 if you join it outside of this session. But I'm not just going to include the Stage Academy, I'm going to include my second program too. There are 5 programs in total that I'm going to include for one bundle. Now, the next program I have is called Stage Virtual, and Stage Virtual is different from the Stage Academy. Stage Virtual is 5 times 2.5 hour live sessions with me and the class cohort on Zoom. And why am I running Stage Virtual on Zoom in person? The reason I have this is so that you can practice the skills you're learning. So if we're learning about vocal mastery, we'll break you out into breakout rooms, and then you practice vocal mastery. If you're learning storytelling, you'll break out into breakout rooms. You practice storytelling with real people, other students who want to improve storytelling. And if you practice body language, same thing. You break out into breakout rooms and practice your body language with real people. It's interactive learning. The recordings are available. If you miss a day, don't worry. This is knowledge application. And I've got classes happening all throughout the year, even into 2025, for time zones for people all across the world. And here's what some students have to say about Stage Virtual.
I signed up for the 5-day live stage virtual masterclass. It was terrifying and thrilling.
What an incredible 5-day journey that was.
Blending magic and communication.
Life-changing.
So engaging.
So informative.
I am just a different person.
And it just shows you what is possible in a virtual environment.
And a lot of us came out laughing on the other side.
It felt like you were sitting in an auditorium with him and he could literally see you.
Everything is just really fun.
It will pay dividends for the rest of your life.
Okay, so here's the method behind the madness. The reason I have these 2 different programs to begin with, and I'll share with you all 5, the reason for them too, though, is because the Stage Academy, the online course, that's for knowledge acquisition. That's where you go to learn. And then the Stage Virtual, that's for knowledge application. This is why so many people don't see change with their communication skills. Oh, because you just watch one video, another video, another video, another video, and you don't do anything to apply. So in the Stage Virtuals, I take you through a step-by-step process and then push you out of your comfort zone. And look, I acknowledge, I know it's a bit scary, but everything you want lives on the other side of fear. And in the most loving way possible, I push you out of your comfort zone for you to explore your instrument. That's where transformations happen. You ask me, oh, Vin, how long does it take for those students to change? You can change in a moment. Or you can change in 5 years, or you can change in 10. It's up to you. So the Stage Virtuals are designed for knowledge application. Now, if you're going to join me just for the Stage Virtuals, I share this with my corporate clients for $2,200 or $2,300. Right? So if you're going to join me for the virtual for 5 days, that's $2,299, right? So it's about $2,500, $2,300. And what I've also decided is that everybody who does choose to join me today during this class, I'm going to hold an exclusive Q&A session. I don't do any coaching anymore because I've got 2 very important children. They're my only coaching clients. But essentially, I'm going to hold an exclusive Q&A session for everyone who decides to join today. And that Q&A session is going to be held on the 26th of September at 8 a.m. Australian time. And if you can't make it, don't stress. We'll give you the recording to it as well. And even if you can't make it there, you can submit your questions beforehand. You can talk about content creation, social media following. You can talk about keynote speaking career, more techniques with communication skills, whatever you want to learn. I'll create that 2-hour intimate session where the whole cohort together, we can learn and amplify our communication skills. I'm going to add that too. So that as well, the Q&A. And here's the next part that I'm really excited to share. The next one that I'm really excited to share is something known as the Stage Bootcamp. My corporate clients, Fortune 500 companies, fly me all over the world to deliver this 90-minute session. It feels a bit gross saying it, but I'm sharing it for context. I get paid in excess of $50,000 to $100,000 to deliver this 90-minute session. Microsoft is flying me to Seattle, to their headquarters this October, to run this exact session. And I've never released my Stage Bootcamp session simply because this is where I am able to make my money. But I'm going to share it with people who join today, and it's called the Stage Bootcamp. And here's a bit of a sneak peek behind the Stage Bootcamp. I believe this to be one of the greatest competitive advantages that anyone can develop. There are 5 universal laws in communication that will profoundly change the way you approach communication. When you speak, people are forming assumptions and beliefs about who you are as a person. That was unbelievable. I'm the lead trainer for Microsoft, Zoom, PwC. When you become undeniable with these 2 areas, reality becomes negotiable. This is one of the key reasons why I was able to grow on social media. From last year, I had about 50,000 followers across all platforms. I now have over 3.5 million followers from all over the world. Your vocal image is the image people create in their minds the moment you open your mouth and you speak. When you take technical skill and you combine it with showmanship, it completely changes the way people experience you. Yes, that was amazing! Unbelievable! Don't be so attached to who you are in the present that you don't give the future version of you a chance. The part of you that's underneath that wants to break out, that's the part of you that I'm here for. So the last time I ran this, I had professional videographers come out to film it, and we captured it, we put it in the stage boot camp, and we're going to give it to the people who decide to join today. So again, we're adding that to the bundle as well. So that's included in the bundle. And then there's one more stage program, and I love this program of mine. I call it Stage Insights. Every single year, I book a theatre. And once I book this theatre, I fill it with people, and people pay to come along to this. And I share the top 3 lessons that I've learned that has allowed me to grow in my career. And this is what I call Stage Insights. And we're adding it all together. So this is Stage Insights. I would love to share with you 3 of the most powerful lessons I've learned that have helped me immensely. This is one of the key reasons behind why I was able to go on social media. From last year, I had about 50,000 followers across all platforms. I now have over 3.5 million followers from all over the world. Aspiration versus pragmatic. I stopped modeling aspirational mentors, but I found mentors who are just 5 to 10 steps ahead of me. There are assumptions, false assumptions that you've made in your life that aren't real. Skill stacking. And what happens when you skill stack, not only do you become the most unique person in the world, when you improve one skill, there's an oscillation that occurs. Okay, so we put all of these programs together, and I have something really special to share with you now. And thank you so much for letting me share this, everyone. You're super kind. Look, if you were to join this, it costs more than $4,000. However, we've got something special, and this is the final month we're doing it. After this month, we're no longer bundling it for this price I'm about to share with you. So the stage bundle, for everything that you see there, we're going to do it for $899 USD. And this is the final month we're sharing this opportunity. Next month, we're upping our prices. I've paused the chat. One of the reasons we paused the chat is so that people can find the link. And look, I want to share with you, for those of you who do decide to join me on the learning journey, I want to share with you a couple of answers to some of the questions that you may have. Otherwise, my support team is going to get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails. So let me answer some of the most common questions, okay? And the first one I'll answer right here. The first one is, hey, Vin, how come it's in USD? Aren't you in Australia? Yes, however, 80% of my audience is US-based, and with the platforms we use, we can only use one currency. So thank you for understanding. Now I'm going to answer some different questions, but I'm going to get fancy on you. I'm going to switch cameras. Boom. So we're going to switch cameras over to here. Yep, I know, it's a little bit fancy. And one of the main reasons, can you see Dan back there? One of the reasons why we've built this entire studio is because we teach thousands of people every single week online. And we wanted to dedicate a whole studio space so that we can improve the learning experience. And also so that the moment I want to update an online course, I can just walk into the studio, record an updated lesson, immediately upload it to the Stage Academy. Okay, so if you see the link in the chat that Dan has shared, for those of you who are ready, and I know not everybody is ready to join me, and that's okay, can I just quickly call out that if you can't afford to join this, I understand. My family are refugees from Vietnam. There was a point in my life where I couldn't afford these things either. And that's why I'm giving everybody a copy of the free PDF at the end. That's also why we create content online. That's also why we're giving away online copies of my Stage Academy. So again, I hear you, I see you, you're not invisible, okay? And I know that when you are ready one day, you will join me, and I can't wait for that day to come along. And for the students who are ready to join me, if you do click that link, you will see this page here, okay? And that page is just going to quickly summarize for you what the bundle is. And again, I just want to quickly say this because after August, in September, we're increasing the prices of what we're doing after feedback from some of my mentors. So just wanted you to know that. This is kind of the final opportunity to join at $899 USD. And this just recaps the bonuses that you get. And then also I wanted the full curriculum to be on this page for you as well. And I'm also going to walk through the curriculum for the students who are planning to join. Okay, so I'll walk through that for you step by step so you know exactly what you're getting in the program with me. And then there's some lovely testimonials if you want to read them. But the most important part is this part here. I want you to feel safe in making this decision. I don't want you to think, oh, Vin, if I join and then it's not right, you're going to hold me to it. No, we don't want to do that. We want to be kind, compassionate, and loving. So if you join the bundle and you watch less than 25% of my online course, I think by that point, after you watch about 20%, you'll be able to go, yeah, Vin's not the right teacher for me. I don't like his hair, so I can't learn from him. Whatever your reason is, if you join my online course and you don't like it, if you watch less than 25%, just email my team. We'll give you a full refund. Okay? We want you to feel safe in making this decision. We just want you to feel safe. And then here are the most common questions that my support team's like, please, Vin, answer these questions. So I will. The first one is, Vin, with the Stage virtual classes, the Zoom classes, I'm really interested in that. When are the times? How do I work out the time zone differences? So what my team have done is if you click this first FAQ question and you click the button here, it will open up a new page where you're going to see all the future classes for my Stage Virtual Masterclass. And my team's done something really cool. You'll see the time for the virtual masterclass in Adelaide. That's where I'm from, Adelaide. So you'll see that, oh, the September class for me is 12:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. Adelaide time. And then my team has done a little bit of fancy coding, and you'll be able to see it in your local time. So at a quick glance on this page, you can kind of go, if you're in the UK, you'll be able to locate a UK-friendly time. If you're in the US, you'll see a US-friendly time. If you're in Asia, you'll see an Asia-friendly time. And you can just quickly look and go, yes, I can join. Actually, I can join September. I'm going to join. And remember, it's not just one session. It's 5 consecutive sessions. So if you see that your session starts on a Tuesday, then it goes from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Each day, 2.5 hours. Okay? And that's when we're going, and trust me, this is the most exciting part of the program, when we're applying the knowledge, getting past our comfort zones and really breaking out of that mold, right? Leaving those past behaviors behind. This is where we do it. This is where we create the transformations inside these classes. Now, second most common question is, then can you talk about the difference between the Stage Academy and the Stage Virtual? Let me clarify again. The Stage Academy is an online course. You can watch the lessons in that class anytime, anywhere. And once you join this bundle, you'll get lifetime access to the Stage Academy. And the Stage Virtual is different. The Stage Virtual is not a stagnant online course. The Stage Virtual is Zoom classes. That's where you join me live. And depending on where you are in the world and which class you pick, that's when you join me for 5 days consecutively, each day 2.5 hours with other students. And we learn and practice all of the things we've learned from the Stage Academy. Remember, the Stage Virtual is knowledge application. And then people always ask, oh, what if I miss a day of the Stage Virtual though? Don't worry. We record the lessons right after the class. We post them up between 2 to 4 hours after each class. So you can catch up if you miss a day. But I'd highly encourage, clear your diaries. The Stage Virtual program is one of the most fun online learning experiences. I know it's weird, I'm saying it myself, but it is, you will love it. You will just love the experience. And the supportive energy in the class is so beautiful. Honestly, it's amazing. And then number 4, people say, do I need to finish the Stage Academy, Vin? It's 13 hours before I come to the virtual class. These are A++ students. Listen, you don't have to finish the whole Stage Academy. If you just finish module 1, you're ready to join us for the Stage Virtual. It's okay. And then the final one, we always get questions about this. Vin, if I join the Stage Academy, how long do I get access to it for? It's lifetime access. And I mean it. Absolutely lifetime access. And if I ever, for any reason, don't host it anymore, I'll give everybody who owns a copy, I'll give you the opportunity to download the videos and you can keep them forever. Okay? But as long as we can host it, you've got access to it. So don't worry. It's lifetime access. And we also update the online course 3 to 4 times a year. Okay. And if you choose to join me, you can join me, punch in your details here, or we've also got some more testimonials if you want to watch them to hear more about what the programs are like. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this here for you to check out. And now what I'm going to do now is, let me stop share screen. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk you through the modules. And the reason I'm doing this is because I know there are a lot of students here who are considering joining me. And again, if you can't, I totally understand. This is totally your choice. But for those of you who are choosing to join me, I want to be able to answer one of the most important questions. You know, I feel we live in a world now where there are so many people who talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. So I want to make sure I share with you exactly what's inside the program. So it's not a situation where you're like, oh, I thought it was this, but then it was that, and it's not good. So let me walk you through it with clarity. So we'll switch angles again, just to be fancy. So we're going to switch angles. Yep, Game of Thrones chair. That's just how I roll. So let me walk you through it, okay? In Module 1, I think this is such an important module, and I'll share some extra content here as well. And just so you know, we're 20 minutes away from the PDF plus the 3 giveaways. On the 2-hour mark, a promise is a promise, we will do the giveaway. Now, in Module 1, this is where I share with you the $100,000 keynote. This is the keynote where I get paid over $100,000 to deliver. Why are you sharing that $100,000 keynote with us, Vin? Are you an egotistical monster? No. There's a reason behind it. I share this with you because I want you to immediately check Is Vin great and world-class at the thing that he teaches? There are so many people now in the world who teach the thing, but they don't do the thing they teach. So I want you to do your due diligence straight away in Module 1. Do your due diligence, because after you watch that 1.5-hour keynote, if you are not impressed by my communication ability, just email my team and ask for a refund. I think that it's so critical in today's day and age. We do the due diligence behind the teachers that we learn from. Sure, they can talk the talk, but do they walk the walk? That's where you do your due diligence and you check. So do your checks. And once you do your check and you're like, yeah, it's good, then continue the learning journey with me. Otherwise, that's what the refund policy is for. And if you're better than me, I'm sure some of you are, then you don't need to learn from me. All right, Module 2. Now, Module 2, this is an important one. Module 2, this is where we go deeper into the foundations. This is what I call the basics. The basics. There are the basics that you have to first learn, like the universal laws. We go deeper into the universal laws. We talk about the difference between vocal image and visual image. Yeah, that's right. Visual image is the way you dress in your body language. Let's talk about it. Vocal image is the image people create in their minds the moment you open your mouth and you speak. What kind of image are you creating with your voice? So we deep dive into these foundational areas so that once we've set a really strong and solid foundation, we now can build a skyscraper on top of it. A skyscraper of mastery. And then Module 3, oh, before I get to Module 3, Dan's just written up a whole, could I just quickly celebrate? Sorry if we didn't write your name. So many people are joining the stage bundle, and big celebration, but I just want to call out some of the students who've joined. So we've got Green, we've got Dr. K, we've got Isaac, we've got Forks, we've got Veronica, M. Roy, Rake, Josh, Ali, Purple Y, Austin, KC, we've got Chrissy, we've got Ethet, and we've got Sheila. Congratulations, thank you for joining the stage bundle. I'm so excited to have you. And listen, if you've decided to join the stage bundle, but we couldn't write your name in time, drop a fire emoji. Drop a fire emoji, let me know that you've joined us. The stage team here are celebrating. We can't wait to be able to serve you and help you move towards that future version of you. We've got Roll has joined, we've got Laura, we've got Step, Monica, we've also got Miriam. So many people are joining, this is amazing. Congratulations and well done on investing in the future version of you. I'm proud of you and I hope you're proud of you too. But I want to continue to walk you through the content so you know exactly what you're getting. I don't want to leave anyone sitting there going, what are we going to learn, Vin? What is inside this program? Let's talk about it. Module 3. Now, Module 3, this is the answer to this question. Vin, how do I create a more interesting sound? Vin, how do I make what I say more memorable? How do I make what I say more interesting? How do I improve my voice? Well, this is what Module 3 is for, vocal mastery. Vocal mastery. And the interesting thing is, because I've spent too much time with my vocal teacher as well, because I've spent a lot of time with her, I can't stop thinking of your voice as an instrument. And when I see someone who doesn't use their voice well, I think of someone using their instrument like this. I see this, I keep seeing this, and I'm like, no, you've got this beautiful instrument. You've got so many beautiful songs to play in your life. Don't play it like this. No, no, no. And this is why I wrote and created Vocal Mastery Module 3, is so that you can go and speak like this. love this. I love this. You see, there are so many beautiful songs that are trapped within you. You are a beautiful musician. You just haven't discovered how to play the instrument. And that's what I designed this module for. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, Vin, that's not voice. That's literally a piano. I thought you're teaching vocal mastery. Let me share with you an example with one of my students. You'll see a before version of my student, and then you'll see an after version, okay? And in the before, he's using his voice. In the after, you watch him play with his voice. And I want you to watch the difference, hear the difference, and feel the difference. Here we go.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty world. I don't care how tough you are. You beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna get hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you're hit. It's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you are worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean place and nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are. It will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, nobody's gonna get hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit.
Give me some quiet now.
It's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth.
Yeah.
But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying that you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or not anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You are better than that.
Oh, it's amazing. I see this. I get goosebumps still. Do you know what movie it's from? It's from Rocky. Such a powerful scene. But you see the difference. In this module here, I teach you 5 core foundations. You watch that student of mine, just use one foundation. When you learn all the 5 foundations to vocal mastery, oh my goodness, you'll be able to captivate anyone you desire. That's the power of vocal mastery. Now, the next module I'm going to get to, but quickly I just need to dance pointing to the board. Hey, I celebrate this for a reason, and a quick celebration for people who've joined. We've got Jonas, we've got Mona, we've got Pierre, we've got Pierre, we've got Jacqueline, Megan, Lucas, Positive Joe. G'day, I saw your chat before, Positive Joe. We've got James, we've got Thomas, we've got T. Martin, 1970 Jason, sounds like your gamer tag. We've got Robert, Mike, and Aran. Hey, if you've joined, I didn't call your name, please drop a fire emoji. I'd love to call out your name. We've got Alexander's joined as well. We've got Ali has joined. Oh, it's so good to have you. Kate has joined. And thank you so much for joining. The reason why we're celebrating the people who are joining is because we love doing this. This is my purpose in life. My whole team has come together because they believe in my purpose too. We believe in making the world a better place by teaching others how to communicate more effectively. And the fact that this many people are joining us and believe in us, it warms our heart and it makes us feel extremely grateful. That's why we want to celebrate you. Another reason is this too. One of the biggest lessons I've learned in my life is you are the direct reflection of the top 5 people you spend time with. That's right, we become the average of the people we spend time with. And all of you who are investing in the stage bundle, you're choosing to have me in your top 5. And for that, I want to say thank you. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for trusting in me and my team to be able to help you get towards that future version of you. I'm not going to let you down. You're going to have fun. You're going to love it. You are going to love it. Okay, good. Now, module number 4. And we're 10 minutes away from doing the PDF giveaway, plus we're 10 minutes away from doing the 3 giveaways of my online course, the Stage Academy. So a promise is a promise. I'm about to deliver on that. Now, module 4, this is the answer to this question where people are asking, hey Vin, how do I become more dynamic as a communicator? Then I noticed that when I meet someone really friendly, I can connect with them easily. But when I meet someone who's a little more alpha, I can't connect with them. And there are some personalities that I can connect with really easily, but some I can't connect. Why is that? The reason for that is because you don't understand an area known as vocal archetypes. Vocal archetypes. There are different characters that exist within you. Yes, there are many different versions of you. Think about what happens to you when you don't eat for about 12 hours. You get hangry. How does that change the way you look, and how does that change the way you sound? Ah, interesting, right? All of a sudden when you've done something wrong, all of a sudden if I've done something wrong at home with my wife, I kind of come home and I'm like, hello, Perwin. Yep, totally have made a big boo-boo. I completely changed the way I sound, right? So there are many different versions of us. And when you deep dive into the archetypes that exist within you, you'll learn how to access 4 core archetypes that allows you to connect with any personality type. It's a very powerful module that we're going to get into. And then module number 5, and I honestly think module number 5, the whole $899 price tag, this module is worth that entire price tag. Just that this one module I'm about to describe to you. And you're about to learn exactly why. This is the most powerful module inside the entire Academy program. And the question it answers is this: Vin, how do I become more influential? I find that at work I don't have influence. I don't have presence. Vin, I find that with my friends, I can't even decide where we go for dinner. They don't even give me that option. I want more influence. I want more impact. This is module 5, and it's storytelling. Yes, it's storytelling. And I want to answer this question that I know is floating around in my students' heads too. You're thinking to yourself, well, Vin, where did you learn all of this? Where did you learn this type of content? Well, I lived in Southern California for 5 years, and I lived in downtown LA for about a year, and I was about 15 minutes away from Hollywood. So I wanted to learn storytelling from the world's best. I don't want to go to somebody around the corner in my city to learn this. No, I want to go to the world's best. And one of the world's best at storytelling is producers and directors. Brian Grazer. And if you don't know who Brian Grazer is, my goodness, he's produced some amazing movies. A Beautiful Mind, one of my biggest favorites, and Cinderella Man, love these movies. And what I want to share with you is this. I went to the best to learn how they storytell. I want you to watch how Brian storytells. Watch this, watch how great he is at storytelling. Have a look at this.
O2.
Look, let's have a little bit of fun. I just want to rapid fire some questions at you. You've done amazing.
Okay.
First question, Brian, your biggest movie failure?
Okay, on Apollo 13, we're going to the Oscars.
Yes.
And everyone says, you're going to win the Oscar. You're going to win, you're going to win, you're going to win. I'm thinking we're going to win. I'm sitting at the aisle right here, 5 rows from Sidney Poitier, who's got the envelope in his hand. Literally. Right next to me is Ron Howard, then Jim Lovell, then Tom Hanks. And what happens is, I'm thinking we're going to win because everybody told us we're going to win. I got my speech right there.
Oh, no.
And as Sidney Poitier opens the envelope, I see him pull it out, and he's got a bee rolling off his lip, almost imperceptible. So when I see the bee, I get up.
Oh, no.
To win the Oscar.
Oh, that's so bad.
And as I approach, they say, Braveheart.
Oh.
And so I just about crawl back to my seat. I'm so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed that I actually, everything is going in slow motion. I see one of my friends that ran a different studio, puts a big L, like loser, on his, I remember, he did that on his, he literally did.
That's someone you unfriend from Facebook, for sure.
So then, that was not good. So then I sit down, I'm so embarrassed because the camera was on me the entire time.
Oh.
And I got the L in my mind, everything's going down, it's bad. I look over, Jim Lovell grabs my wrist like this and he goes, I never made it to the moon either.
Oh.
And I thought, I put it in perspective. So that was a huge bummer.
Wow, that is.
Yeah, that's
bad.
better than talking about the flops, man.
Yeah. Oh, you should have just pretended you were going to the toilet. You was like, no, I'm just going to the toilet. What the hell? He was just, Brian.
I should have known you.
Well,
I would have had the idea.
We could have totally segued.
I know.
And you could have just went, no, the bathroom. Yeah.
All right, I'll go faster on the next one. Okay.
I love that one though.
All right, okay.
That's a massive failure for sure. No, I feel like it is. I probably shouldn't say it's a massive failure to the person you want to learn from. Isn't he an amazing storyteller? So you see, what I did was I learned the storytelling structure from the greats. And then I've taken all these lessons that I've been able to learn, the wonderful people I've been able to access, and I put it inside Module 5. I put it inside this module. This is what I'm telling you. This is worth more than the entire thing. And here's the crazy part. I'm going to ask you all a question right now, and this is going to be a little bit weird, but let's just go with it. I'm going to ask you a question, okay? And you can feel free to type yes or no. Do you feel a sense of connection with me? And Dan, let's bring up the yes or no thing. Do you feel a sense of connection with me? And it's okay to type no. It's okay if you want to type no. It's okay. We'll start to do this and let's see if it works, or maybe there's too many people, Dan. Because right now it looks like there's 100% yes, and I haven't seen any no's. Okay, well, some people are typing. No, there's a couple of no's here. There's a couple of no's. That's okay. That's okay. That's going to swap it away. Let's just say 95%, 90% of people feel a sense of connection with me, okay? And it's okay if you type no. It's impossible to connect with everybody you meet. It's impossible. But imagine you're able to connect with 90% of people that you meet. Imagine you're able to have influence over 90% of people that you meet. What would that mean for you? And do you know why you feel a sense of connection with me? You feel a sense of connection with me because I've been storytelling to you this entire time. You feel a sense of connection with me because I'm taking up space in your head. I'm taking up memory space in your head, and I'm going to prove it to you, and this is going to freak you out. This is going to freak you out. So I'm going to ask you questions, and I want you to type the answers in the chat for me. So here's my first question for you. See if you remember the answer. How many months did I have left in my university degree? How many months did I have left? How many months? Look at the number of people getting it right. I said that number once. I said 6 months. I had 6 months left in my degree. Look how many people remember it with complete accuracy. Isn't that freaky deaky? Next question I have for you. I was in the lounge room. Which room in the house did my parents go to? Which part of the house did they go to? Yes, it's kitchen. Look at the number of people typing kitchen. Do you notice yourself remembering every single minute little detail? I told you which room they went to once. Oh my goodness, right? It's crazy. And then I'm going to ask you another question. I said this next thing once as well. And how do you remember this? Most of the times when you meet somebody for the first time, you're like, hey, I'm Vin. And they're like, hey, I'm... And you're like, oh my God, they just said their name, but I've forgotten it. This is the power of storytelling. Next question. My dad said to me, jump as high as you can in this life. I'll forever be your what? I'll forever be your what? Case closed. Case closed. Do you see the power of this? The reason you feel a sense of connection with me is because I'm taking up space in your memory. I'm no longer just Vinh Giang, the communication coach. I'm Vinh Giang, the communication teacher who dropped out of university, has beautiful parents who said this beautiful. You remember all these things about me, and the more space I take up in your mind, the deeper of a connection you feel with me. And you know the crazy thing? When you don't learn how to storytell, I mean, look at this. Think about the people you've been working with for the last 12 months. Do some of you feel more connected to me than someone you've been working with for 12 months? And we've spent 2 hours together? And if you're typing yes right now, that's the power of storytelling. You want to be able to build rapport with people really fast. You want to be able to connect with people and have influence. You need to master the art of storytelling. That's what we do in Module 5. All right, promise is a promise. We're about to do the giveaways. Dan and I, we will hang around for the next 30 minutes as well to do some Q&A. And I'm going to walk you through the rest of the modules, and I'll do it quickly. But first, the giveaway. Promise is a promise. So let's go. All right, so promise is a promise. All right, so Dan, if we could pause the chat again, if you don't mind. Hello, Dan, just waving there in the dark, the poor thing. All right, so if you click the link that is in the chat, we are just using the same link so it's not confusing. So if you look on the screen here, if you just scroll all the way to the bottom, you will see the link to be able to download the PDF. This is the 5-step process to help you become more aware of your non-functional behaviors. So please go down to the bottom of the page. I repeat, it's on the bottom of the page. You will see the self-awareness assessment guide, and you can download that 5-step process there. Can I just quickly say as well, though, please don't share this link publicly. We are hosting it. It does cost us money every time someone downloads it. So please, if you don't mind not sharing that publicly, it would be, we'd appreciate that. So again, we believe in generosity. We believe in abundance. So we'd love you to have that. So make sure you've got it. Okay, I'm about to click away. It's still going to be there for the next couple of hours, but yeah. Quick question as well. Some people have been asking, hey, how come it's only available for the next couple of hours? The reason being is we're starting our very next class in September, and we're finalizing our numbers for that class, so we need to know by this weekend. the team has a lot of work to do behind the scenes to prepare for our classes. Thank you for understanding. Back to the other camera. Okay, cool. Oh, no, the giveaways. Oh, Vin, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Giveaways. Oh, my goodness. Promise is a promise. On the 2-hour mark. So now we're going to pick 3 people to give away the online course, the Stage Academy to. I'm super excited. The support team have already picked the people who are currently here. So we're going to drop the names in chat. So if you see your name pop up in chat now, you are the lucky winner for the Stage Academy, the online course worth $1,000. So we're going to count down in 5, 4, 3, 2.5, 2, 1.5. Let's drop it, Joven. Let's drop the winners. We've got Paola Pryan, we've got Emma Sheridan, and we've got Octavian Ionscu. Probably totally butchered that one. But hey, I just want to let you all know that if you see your name there, don't panic. You don't have to reach out to us. We've got your details. My team's going to reach out to you and give you access. So a big congratulations to our 3 winners. Dan, let's unlock the chat. Let's show them lots of love in the chat. And do you know what I'm loving right now? Do you know what I'm absolutely loving right now? Even though so many of you didn't win, so many of you are sharing your love and congrats to the people who did. And you know, that is so beautiful to see. That even though you didn't win, you're still sharing love, kindness, compassion. That's so beautiful to see. And you know, that just gives me a lot of faith in humanity. And thank you for strengthening my faith in humanity. It's so beautiful to see you all do this. You're such kind people. Well done. Good on you for being such a wonderful human. All right. Now, as I continue to go through the modules, there's only another 5 more. I'll go through them rather quickly for you. Next one is module 6, okay? Now, module 6, left my clicker over there. Let me just grab my clicker. Again, if anyone doubts it's live, who would keep forgetting their clicker if it was live? All right, if it wasn't live. Module 6 is to answer this question. And I've got to tell you, about 60% of my female audiences ask this, and about 40% of my male students ask this. Then how do I improve my executive presence? How do I have more presence when I walk into a room? Some people, when they walk into a room, they haven't even said anything, but they've got this incredible presence about them. How do you improve that? That's module 6. That is body language. Body language. And body language is it's a big topic. We go deep into body language. We cover posture, we cover hand gestures, we cover facial expressions, movement, and we also cover eye contact. So we deep dive into this. And I have 2 videographers, and they cost lots of money to pay every year. And they fly out to every single event that I teach at. Why? Because they capture every single example when it comes to body language, so that when you're learning body language, you will see real people practicing real things, getting real results. And we go granular, okay? I'll show you how granular we go. For example, as a professional speaker, one of the greatest forms of accolades you could give me is a standing ovation. And for the longest time, I didn't get standing ovations. And I used to have theater coaches. And I would ask, I didn't want to become an actor. I just did theater coaches to learn how to be more expressive with my body. And I asked them, how come I'm not getting any standing ovations? And my theater coaches would simply say, well, Vin, it's simple. You're not commanding for them. You're not gesturing for it. I was like, what? You can gesture for them? Watch this clip right now. Watch my hands specifically. This is why we document examples. Have a look at this. Good luck. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, my friends. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. Did you notice what I did with my hands? I'll show you again with a different example. Watch my hands super carefully. Watch my hands. Watch it again in super slow motion. Did you see what I did? All I did was I kind of went down, and as I slowly look up, I lock eyes with the person in the front row person specifically, and then I just do this. And then the person in the front row just goes, and then they stand. Why do you do this with the person in the front row? Because if the person in the front row stands, every single person behind them sees them stand, and if your talk was half decent, they go, oh, just give it to him. Just give it, and then that's how you execute a standing ovation. You see, one of the main reasons I believe in giving people specific step-by-step processes on how to achieve things is because specific advice leads to exponential results. Whereas general advice, which is what we get from social media, general advice leads to general outcomes. It does. That's just the way life is, right? So again, I want to be specific in the things that I share with you, step-by-step processes on how to achieve these outcomes. And I want you to watch one of my students. Here's a video of one of my students. This is him without kind of any body language, without anything at all. Oh, let me click it again.
I definitely enjoyed the serenity of walking along the beach. It was relaxing. It was very quiet.
And then watch what happens the moment he starts to introduce hand gestures.
The mind encompasses everything. It's everything that you are. In actual fact, 95% of what we do is completely habitual.
See the power of that? All of a sudden, the moment he moves, it changes the quality of his voice, it changes how he comes across. So many of you are afraid of a monotone voice, but you don't realize that a monotone voice comes from a monotone body. Yeah, so in body language, we deep dive in how to improve that thing in the corporate space they call executive presence. Man or female will help you, man or woman will help you level up that presence. Now, Module 7. When it comes to Module 7 is to answer the question where people say, hey Vin, in my work, the things I talk about, it's so boring. I'm in finance, it's so boring. I'm in engineering, it's so boring. And this is my first reply to people who say this. Sure, the topic you might speak about may be boring, but you don't have to be boring. I'm not lagging, I'm just pausing for effect. But that's the truth of the matter. You don't have to be boring. And one of the things you can level up is your ability to use AMS. And AMS stands for Analogies, Metaphors, and Similes. And I deep dive into AMS to share with you how to use analogies, metaphors, and similes to distill complex information, to make boring things more fun, to help people understand with more clarity. And also analogies, metaphors, and similes. Most people don't know how to do this, but you can use AMS to build rapport with people like that. Next module. Number 8, module number 8. Now module number 8, this is when people ask the question, they go, Vin, how do I build deeper connections with the people in my life? Vin, I find that, I've got people around me, but I don't have depth in my relationships. This next module, when I started to master this in my life, it has changed the quality of my relationships. And it's active listening. Active listening. This has changed the quality of my life. And we deep dive into the area of active listening. And one example I want to show you here as we continue the learning process together is one of our biggest values in stage or at stage is fun. And I hope you've had fun while learning communication skills with me. I want to share with you an example class, an example lesson. This is what I mean by I want the Stage Academy to be bingeable. I want you to binge through. I want you to be excited about learning because I want learning to be fun. I don't want it to be boring. So this video example I'm going to share with you is an example of what's known as passive listening. So this is how you shouldn't listen. It's how you shouldn't listen to people. And here's an example, a little bit of fun we have inside our stage programs. Check this out.
So Vin, I'm really thinking about becoming a professional archer and joining the Olympics.
Man, there's no way you're going to be able to become a professional archer. How are you going to make a living? How are you going to pay your bills? You're just going to try and then fail miserably and then come back and work for me as a videographer anyway.
Your time. So that's what I'm thinking about, and I'm really excited for it.
You should not become a professional archer. That sounds like a terrible idea, Craig.
Oh, I love it. It's the cat that does it for me. It's the sad cat and the violin music. It's fantastic. But again, we have created this online experience with your engagement in mind. Again, if you've enjoyed this session together and you're still sitting there going, I don't know if this is right. Listen, if you've enjoyed it, then this is going to be the right path for you. And I am confident in saying it because even if you jump in and it's not right for you, we've made it safe for you to be able to get a refund, right? So again, just want you to know it's safe. Now, active listening, we deep dive into this so that you can help people feel seen, feel heard, feel understood, and feel a sense of connection. Now, last couple that I'll share, and we're going to do some Q&A and answer specific questions with, again, specific advice. We're about to get into Q&A in about 3 minutes. Module 9 is to answer this question. Vin, I've got a shaky voice, or Vin, I'm nervous and my hands start to tremble. Vin, how do I deal with nerves? Now, I really believe that I can help you deal with nerves because I've spoken in front of audiences that are 5,000 people, 10,000 people. The largest audience I've ever spoken to was in Bangkok, Thailand, and it was 37,000 people. So I've had to learn every single nerve management technique under the sun to manage my nerves. Yeah, I still get nervous, yes. And the reason why I dedicate a whole module and videos to nerves, well, let me write that again, is because a lot of the times, and this is the crazy thing, when you go for a job interview, sometimes you're already a great communicator. But because you don't know how to manage your nerves, when you show up, because you're so nervous, when they ask you a question, when you answer, it's like, blah, 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 and you're like, no, why did I say that? Why did that? It's because you didn't know how to manage your nerves. I want you to watch this video of one of my students. She didn't know how to manage her nerves. And then it caused her to speak really quickly. And then she kept thinking to herself, oh, Vin, I hate my accent. My accent is terrible. I'm like, your accent has nothing to do with it. It's because you're speaking too damn quickly because you don't know how to manage your nerves. Watch this video.
When we usually fix our diet or start exercising when our body is falling apart. Your self-worth is not equal to your net worth. I am my body. You have one, but you're not at it. In a nutshell, pain is a message to change your thinking. And I noticed that about those Joyce people who have dedicated themselves to a spiritual life, they all say roughly the same thing.
And again, when you get nervous, one of the most common things we do is we talk faster and faster and faster. Watch what happens when she started to learn how to calm her nerves. Her accent's not a problem at all. She's got a beautiful accent. Look at this.
It's Dr. Sonia here from Brisbane, Australia. I am in Las Vegas at a conference. It's an international audience. We have people from Zimbabwe, we have people from Colombia, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. You name it, the country is there. So it's going to be so exciting to spread my message about cultural intelligence to the...
See that? It was more about learning how to manage the nerves. And then she was able to communicate beautifully. Her accent is not a problem, but for the longest time she was like, oh, my accent is terrible. I'm like, no, you have a gorgeous accent. I believe accents are never a problem. The problem is nerves, nervousness, anxiety. It destroys the best of us. Last one, module 10, and we've just updated another module as well, but I won't go into it. The final one is, and we do this in our stage virtual time together, confidence. We deep dive into confidence. We go into how can you access more confidence. There are key skills that you can develop that make you more confident. And we deep dive into this. And I want you to watch just one more video of one of my students. When she first came to us, she played it safe all the time. She was stuck with a whole bunch of behaviors and she was too scared to explore all 88 keys, metaphorically speaking. So look how she started with us.
And I'm really excited about that. Getting clarity around what my message is.
See that? And then watch what happens as she started to access the bigger version of her.
Thank you in advance for your feedback. I see the bigger version of me. So Vin, thank you so much.
Oh, I love this. I love this bigger version of her. Whereas before she used to keep thinking, oh, I'm so inauthentic. This is me being fake. Now she's like, no, this is just me being unfamiliar. I'm going to move towards that future version of me as quickly as I humanly can. And I hope you do the same. Whether or not you choose to do that with me, I just want you to know that future version of you is absolutely possible. All right, let's get to do some Q&A. I'm going to switch cameras. Let's deep dive into some of your questions. And hey, if you're still here, thanks for hanging with us. All right, let's jump in. Okay, let me open up the Q&A here. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you to everyone who's saying, oh, thank you, it's been amazing. Thank you for the... Hey, could I just quickly ask as well, hey, if you're enjoying this experience, just let me know. And if you've joined this stage bundle, drop a fire emoji. I'd love to know who's joined the stage program. Hey, Jin's joined. So good to have you, Jin. So good to have you as well. I see Tanika has joined. Ron's joined. We've got Shola. Hey, Shola, I can't wait to meet you in the stage virtual. Ron, again, Ron's typed it a few times. Angeli, I can't wait to meet you. Kiki, can't wait to meet you as well. I can't wait to meet you. Vashika, can't wait to meet you as well. Mohammed, hey, I can't wait to see you in our stage virtual programs. Cannot wait to meet you. Now, I'm going to dive into some Q&A. All right, let me have a look here. Questions? Let's have a look here. Now, I'm going to call something out here, okay? And I always get this comment, and some of you would have seen it, and they asked it in Q&A, and my team dismissed it, and I'm just going to address it right here, right now. This is an awkward one. And I've seen this comment multiple times come up too. And the way they phrased it in the dismiss section here is like this. And I can tell this person's being sarcastic. Great masterclass, teachers for an hour and a half, pitches for a whole hour. What a complete waste of time. This is BS. I'm not going to say the person's name. Now, I'm just going to share this because I think it's important to acknowledge. And this person's asking a question that's kind of valid. So Vin, why do you run these classes for free? Well, valid question. The reason I run these classes for free is because there are hundreds, if not thousands, of communication skills teachers out there in the world. How do you know if I'm the right teacher for you? How do you know if you've never sat in a class with me before? So the reason why I run these classes for free is so that you can try learning with me. You can try sitting in a class with me to experience learning with me, to see if I'm the right teacher for you. And I'm not going to be the right teacher for everyone, and I understand that. I'm okay with that. But this is what I've decided to dedicate my life to. This is my life's work. This is what I do. So this is why I do it. And I'm super sorry that that person feels that way. And I bring this up as the first question that I answer, and it happens every time in every class. And the reason why I bring it up so that we can all learn from this is that when you learn how to master your communication skills, comments like that don't scare you. You're not afraid to talk about difficult things. You're not afraid to call out really difficult conversations and discuss them. That's the beautiful thing about masterful communication, is that I can approach these difficult questions with love, kindness, and compassion. Whereas I can tell you now, the version of Vin from when I was younger, like the 21-year-old version of Vin would have been like, oh yeah, well you shouldn't have come then, you ungrateful bastard. And then I would have gotten angry and I would have told my team, let's just ban them, let's block them. But now I've learned how to be more compassionate, more kind, and more loving. And that's the powerful thing you're able to do when you improve your communication skills. Not everything has to be met with anger and violence. And I think more than ever in the world today, we need better communicators. We need people who can communicate with each other without the first resort being violence. We need people, and especially our leaders in the world, we need people who can communicate in a way that's peaceful, kind, loving, compassionate. So I always pick this kind of example because I always see it. And that's one of the benefits as you master this skill set. You're able to move through life with a lot more grace, with a lot more elegance, and a lot more kindness. Okay, cool. All right, let's get to some other questions. But I thought that was really, really a powerful thing to share. Let's have a look here. I love some people are answering each other's questions too. It's absolutely beautiful. Our question here is, hey Vin, with the online course, do you have certifications? Yes, when you do our online courses, at the end of it, you get a certificate as well. I know a lot of you will be able to get work reimbursement for it. So when you finish it, you can show your employers, and I know a lot of companies that reimburse their people when they invest in programs like this. Because when you become a better communicator, your organizations benefit immensely. So yes, it does. And the person who asked this was Diderich. So Diderich, yes, you do. So thank you for asking that question.
Diedrich.
Yes, thank you, Dan. And the next one we have is, let me have a look here. Hey, Vin, just a quick question. And the question is, Vin, English is my fourth language. Congratulations. That's amazing that English is your fourth language. English is my third. You've got one on me. Will this course still help me? Look, I believe it will. And the reason I believe it will is because English is my third language. And I created the course with you in mind, because we've got transcriptions. We've actually invested, we've spent over $25,000 designing a workbook. So we've got a workbook that's over 120 pages long that we're about to update the Stage Academy with. And that workbook, again, has step-by-step processes for you to practice everything. And one of the reasons we've invested that money into creating the workbook is because we have a lot of people who join us where English is their second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh language. So we've got that workbook to guide you through the process. And that's about to be dropped in about a month's time. So that's coming as well. So yes, we have you in mind. We've got transcription, everything as well. And that's why I wanted the videos to be lifetime, so that if you need to come back to it, it's always there for you. And that's also why we continually want to update the online course. Cool. Next one is...
Been something a few people have asked now is,
Yep.
do you run the virtual masterclass or is it one of your team?
So the question is, Vin, do you run the virtual masterclasses or is it one of your team? Yep, I run them. I run them all. So it's actually with me. And even if you join me for an in-person class, and then here's the thing, joining me virtually is a little more economical. However, if you do want to join me in person, I've got tickets ranging from 3,000 all the way to 10,000 if you ever wanted to join me in person for that experience. And yes, I teach the full 2 days as well. It's just me. Okay, so if you wanted to join me for that, you absolutely can. However, this is a more economical version if you wanted to join me. All right, thank you for that question, Dan. Thank you. I'm looking through the chat now, looking through here. Thank you for hanging out with us still. It's almost 2.5 hours. Thank you for still hanging out with us. You guys are so kind. All right, now let's have a look here. Here we go. So okay. I know that when we do this time zone, we get a lot of people joining us from Asia. I'm seeing a lot of questions around accent and a lot of people feeling insecure with their accent. And can I just quickly call something out real quick? Sometimes people think, oh, Vin, you got an Australian accent. That's a really desirable accent. That accent is amazing. Yes and no. Yes and no. Any accent can be terrible if there's poor articulation and poor pronunciation. So for example, even if I've got an Aussie accent, if I now have terrible articulation and terrible pronunciation, tell me if this is a cool Australian accent. Tell me if you understand what I'm saying. All right, here we go in 3, 2. Oh yeah, if you want to go down to the pub later and, just come hang out, have a few beers with the boys, eh? And then if you want to go 2 shakes of Lansdale, I'd love to see you there, eh? Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah, no, I don't know if you want to go. If you want to go down to the servo, then, it'll be a bloody good time. If you and me want to hang out, eh? It's going to be good. Now, the Australians in the room will understand exactly what I'm saying. My Australian fellow Aussies will be like, yeah, mate, no worries, see you at the pub. You will have understood everything that I said. But if you're not an Australian, you're sitting there going, wait, what? What did he just say? So please don't sit there and go, oh, this accent is better than that accent. That accent is better than this accent. No, the accent you have is beautiful. It's gorgeous. The thing that's wrong is not your accent. The thing that needs improvement is your articulation and your pronunciation. Yes, that's what it is. So again, I just want to answer this question because I know I've got a lot of people from all over the world. And it doesn't matter if English is your only language. You might need to improve your articulation and pronunciation too. So here's something really pragmatic that you can do that's going to help you improve your communication. You want to practice this 4 times a day, each time between 3 to 5 minutes. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it, because when you're practicing things with your voice, you've got to understand that your vocal folds are the size of your pinky nail. Okay, so you don't want to overdo vocal practice. You don't want to overdo it. Okay, you want to just look after your voice, practice it consistently, but not too intensely. Okay, here we go. So for example, grab a book. Once you've got a book, then you want to read it out loud. And when you're reading it out loud, overdo the mouth movements and overdo the tongue movements. So if I was reading it, I'd say something. I'll read it like this. Circle 3, becoming disconnected. Finally, you may be disconnected from the work that matters. And while you're doing this, you're going to feel like an absolute idiot. But what you're doing here is you're learning all of the right mouth movements for the English language. Here's the most common trap. Say the first language that you learned was Chinese. Okay, let's say that for example. So when you're learning Chinese, you learn all of the mouth movements to be able to make all of the Chinese sounds. So then you've mastered that as the first language in your life. Then you learn English. But the problem is, because you've learned the Chinese mouth movements, now you speak English with the Chinese mouth movements. Therefore, you have poor articulation and poor pronunciation when speaking the English language. So what this process helps you with is it helps you learn the right mouth movements for the English language. So instead of using Chinese mouth movements to speak English, you are now using English mouth movements to speak English, therefore enhancing clarity when you speak. And do you see what I mean there? That's the kind of specificity that I want to create with my team. We want to give you specific advice and specific tools to help you achieve specific outcomes. We don't want to be, again, a classic video that you see on YouTube where it's like, hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm going to give you 3 tips on how you can improve your communication skills. The first thing you want to do is you want to use declarative statements. The second thing you want to do is you want to speak with clarity. And the third thing you want to do is you want to speak with better articulation. Hey, subscribe for more. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video. I used to watch those videos all the time, and I felt really good when I watched them, but when I walked away, I kind of went, I didn't really learn anything though. I didn't know what to apply. I liked and subscribed. I even shared the video. Anyway, not throwing shade. But that's why we wanted to create the stage programs. Be the change, right? Anyway, let's jump back in. We'll take one more, and that will be the end of it. Here we go. Let me have a look here. I'm trying to look for a cluster of different questions so I can answer. Okay. Let's have a look here. Oh, this is a super kind one. This one is just, hey Vin, I feel completely drawn to your style of teaching. Thank you for so much for what you did today. This is from Nina, so thank you, Nina. That's very kind of you. Seeing messages like this, I feel very grateful, so thank you. Here's one. This is coming up a lot. And this is from Titus, who says, in all caps, how can I control my nervousness? So thank you, Titus, for the extra emotion in that question. How do I deal with nervousness? Look, let me share with you 3 steps, 3 specific steps. The first thing when it comes to nervousness is take control of your breath. Your breath is one of the most important things that you can control in the moment, okay? So for example, if you're starting to feel nervous, use a style of breathing that the Navy SEALs came up with, and it's called box breathing. So I want you to try this with me. Even if you're sitting there, just try it with me. Please, come on, lean in, try it. So I'll talk you through it. I won't do it, but I'll talk you through it, okay? So in a moment, the way it's gonna work is you breathe in for 4 counts, you hold for 4 counts, you breathe out for 4 counts, you hold for 4 counts, okay? So I'll count you in. Just release all of the air in 3, release all of the air in 2. Now breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Release, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's amazing when we take control of our breath, it calms us down. Do you feel more calm already? Even me talking you through it has made me more calm. That's one of the most important things you can do when you're starting to feel really nervous. Take control of your breath. That's you controlling body, okay? Now, another thing you can do to control the body is when you're nervous, your body starts to release excess adrenaline because it's preparing you for fight or flight. And what I mean by this is, back in the day when something dangerous happens, we start to feel the nervousness because we're thinking, oh my goodness, am I going to have to fight the saber-toothed tiger, or am I going to have to run away? So your body starts to produce excess adrenaline, and then you start to shake with your body. And when you shake with your body, that's what causes your voice to shake, because it's not your voice that's shaking, your body is shaking, which then shakes your voice. So to stop the body from shaking, you need to get rid of the adrenaline. And to get rid of the adrenaline and manage the adrenaline, you have to do some brisk form of activities. So you might just do 20 star jumps, or you can do a couple of quick push-ups, or you can go for a brisk walk. And you can do this before job interviews. You can do this before presentations. And what you're doing there is you're managing the adrenaline so that it doesn't build up and then all of a sudden you can't control all of the nervous symptoms. So manage the adrenaline. So these 2 things are going to help you with managing the symptoms of nervousness. And then the third one is psychological. The third one is one of the main reasons we become nervous is because we become self-conscious. We become too self-conscious, and you're thinking too much about the self, right? So think about when you're the most nervous. That's when you're like, oh my goodness, I hope my clothes looks good. Oh my goodness, I hope my hair looks good. Oh my goodness, I hope my glasses, I picked the right one. Oh my goodness, I hope maybe, does my pants connect with the shoes properly? Did I wear the right shoes? Does it look good? Oh my God, what if I forget what I'm going to say? Oh, far out. What if they ask me a question I don't know the answer to? Me. And the more you become self-conscious, the more nervous you're going to get. So what you want to do is you want to take that consciousness and not place it on the self, but rather place it on the people you're about to serve. That's the word I love most about my time in America. Americans have this beautiful word that they use, and the word is serve. How can I serve you? I love that word that the Americans use. It's so beautiful. So again, I do a reframe. So instead of thinking about me, before I go in for a job interview or a presentation, I just look at myself in the mirror and I go, okay, nothing stuck in my teeth. Okay, clothes looks as good as it's going to look. Hair looks as good as it's going to look. Get out of your own head now, Vin. It's not about you. It's about the 20 people you're about to speak to. It's all about them. And if you deliver a great presentation, you're going to change the lives of the 20 people. When I'm coming onto these sessions with all of you, I'm not thinking about me. I'm not looking at myself in the screen. I'm looking at the camera. I'm looking at you. I'm putting all of my attention and energy to how can I create the most valuable experience and most entertaining experience for you? How can I entertain you and inspire you to improve one of the skill sets that's going to transform your life? How can I add value? And if I show up as my best self tonight on this masterclass, I have the potential to change hundreds, if not thousands of lives. I don't have time to think about me. I don't have time to be self-conscious. I don't have time to be nervous about how I'm going to come across. I don't have time for that because all of my consciousness is placed on you. These three things will help you be able to manage the nerves. All right. I just want to say thank you. We've had so many people join us. The team are so excited. They're celebrating in the background, and so many people have joined us in the stage bundle. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is what I love to do. And whether you've joined us or not, I just want to end on this message. If you've joined this experience and you feel good right now, you feel inspired, you feel happy, you feel positive, you feel enthusiastic, if you feel any good vibes right now, I want you to pay it forward. When you leave this class and you return to your family or your friends or your colleagues or the communities that you're a part of, I want you to be the reason someone feels inspired today. I want you to be the reason someone smiles today. And you know the coolest thing is, you can use your voice to completely lift the way others feel. Because that's what I've been doing with you this entire masterclass. I've been using my instrument to lift you up. So I ask you, if you've gotten value from this, use your voice to spread more love, kindness, and compassion, and a little bit of fun and cheekiness while you're at it. Thank you so much for joining us for this session. A big thank you from me and a big thank you from Dan in the background. Dan, if you want to give a quick little wave. That's enough of Dan. That's enough of Dan. He's taken way too much time already. Look at that. What a hog. What a hog. Oh, Dan, get over yourself, mate. No, I'm just kidding. I love Dan. Dan's one of my best friends. So, hey, we wish you all the best moving forward. Thank you. And to the students who've joined, we cannot wait to serve you. I cannot wait to see you in class and help you move towards that future version of you faster than you think you're able to. See you soon, everyone. Bye.